countdown is over. It is game on at the Northland Event Centre. Wallaroos v Scotland. On they come, Scotland. Skelton inches away and she gets it. Sending it away there for Lloyd in off her wing. Does a good job of pulling it in after dropping initially, and now she is dropped just short. Oh, how about the try saver on the way through? Skelton, that didn't look straight, but it's play on. And they work it hard, Skelton. What did I? She'll pop up and look over and say, hang on a second, I did it myself. They lead the Wallaroos 4 points to 0. Buttabasunga, it's on out wide, they float it in that direction, and it's you know who to Rita for the Wallaroos. Hamilton, drop by her opposite number, Conkle. In they come now with a bonus, and the try from Masters to take the lead. Laurie Kramer, it's good. It's 14-12. And the Wallaroos keep their quarter-final hopes alive.
Yes, what a comeback it was from the Wallaroos against Scotland last week. 7 days on, the Aussies are again in Whangarei on the North Island of New Zealand. Nice part of the world, chance to lock in a World Cup quarter-final berth, but it won't be easy. It's the last Wallaroos pool game, and it's against Wales, one of the big improvers in the women's game. Very physical team they are. This is a big test coming up for the Wallaroos in Whangarei. It's great to have your company on Stan Sport. I'm Nick McArdle here with Dom Victoria, Alana Ferguson and Justin Harrison. Alana, just how big is this challenge for the Wallaroos today?
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how they launch off the back of a win last week. I thought the character that our Wallaroos showed was enormous. The game was in a grind, and particularly that second half, they really showed what they're made of. Today will be a pretty similar matchup in terms of the style of play. I think we've got a lot to bring. They're playing in their Indigenous jerseys today, which is extra special. But yeah, they'll be coming out ready to fight, Goog.
And one of those challenges just got a whole lot bigger, didn't it, during the week, losing Atasi Lafai in the second row. So Kemp and Leonard, it's going to be a really important dynamic of the game, winning that supply chain of ball. Masters is out as well. There's combinations that are new in a vital part of the game to match Wales at the set piece and release this wonderful Wallaroos back line.
So Dom, you know, obviously that challenge up front. What are some other things that the Wallaroos need to be really good at today and maybe better than they were against Scotland last week?
Yeah, well, on that challenge up front, I think in defence, I think that's going to be massive. The Welsh are going to be very similar to the Scots with that, bringing that physicality and especially around set piece. And then in attack, I just want to see those girls attacking the line and releasing the ball out wide to their weapons through that broken play.
Goog, you look at this team and the changes that have been made. Does that suggest to you what Jade Dragoning is thinking about what's coming out the Wallaroos today?
Well, what we're starting to do is see the Wallaroos develop a style and a system of play, and they've also got manoeuvrability in the starting 15s now. They played a specific way against the Black Ferns in Adelaide and then in the first part of the World Cup. They learn a lesson against Scotland. They need to be more confrontational. They need to be a bit more combative. Grace Kemp's going to be pretty sharp in those areas, and then that tight forward pack has definitely been picked on size and mass rather than possibly mobility and execution in general play.
Need to be a bit more disciplined this week as well, perhaps. We'll
Absolutely.
talk a bit about that a little bit later.
Discipline's a dirty word in anyone's
All right, let's take you to New Zealand's North Island now. Stan Sport's very own Sean Maloney. Shawnee.
Yeah, kia ora, Haramai team. Great to be back in Whangarei where the sun has burst through. We had a ton of rain this morning. It's cleared up perfect for this first half game between the Wallaroos and Wales. You wouldn't believe it, that same win from last week has kicked in again this morning. So that'll be favouring the sides heavily, running left to right on your screens. Yes, left to right is the way it'll go. Can't wait to see the women do their thing in their First Nations jerseys today. And caught up with a couple of them a little earlier who've said they're all in on chasing that 4-try bonus point as well to try and help lift them up in terms of those quarter-final seedings. I'll be back with you in just a second with my co-commentator Mel Robinson. Looking forward to it.
Good on you, Shawnee. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, special day for the Wallaroos in their First Nations jersey today. Let's have a look at the standings in Pool A, and this explains to you just why this game is so important. New Zealand, they've cleared out on top. Australia on points for and against are in second spot at the moment. Wales third, Scotland fourth. The top two automatically qualify for the quarterfinals. If you finish third, you're still in the hunt, but you need to be one of those lucky losers. So obviously very, very important. It's all on the line for the Wallaroos today.
Yeah, it is, and they'll want to take that in their own hands. They want to be playing quarters footy, and today's game's so important. If they win it, they secure that spot. They don't leave it up to the oppositions and how other games go.
So last week against Scotland, Australia down 12-0. They took the lead for the first time in the 73rd minute. On the biggest stage, to stay in the fight like that, how gutsy and how difficult is that, Dom?
Yeah, absolutely. It is difficult. And I think it's a real mental battle at that stage of the game when you're down, you've got players that have been carded, and hear that kick from Laurie Kramer under that pressure, like incredible. I think that takes a lot of maturity and a lot of mental fitness to be able to endure the game like that, not just the ability on the field.
And belief in your own ability, right? To know
Absolutely.
that you are still in the hunt in that situation. So this week against Wales, and we talked a little bit about what's coming their way. Wales very, very good at set piece. The Wallaroos, did they show a bit in that area last week?
Well, what we saw last week was a little bit in your dissection of the game. The Wallaroos taking the lead in the 73rd minute. Some of those scoring opportunities late in the game, shorter passing, more physical, more confrontational. Started the game much more expensively, readjusted and problem solved during the game. And that's a great sign for a team that's able to problem solve in a World Cup game. And that's what we're going to see today. We're going to see them start with a different mindset. But if they need to adjust, we've seen that they have the capacity to adjust. And that is a very good sign for a squad that knows how to react to what's happening, because we know about sport and its unpredictability.
So the scrum very much in the spotlight today, and Liz Partu obviously a huge part of that. Yeah,
look, we know that tight forwards, particularly in World Cup finals games, this is a finals game, are crucial. And Liz Partu is everything about what the Wallaroos set up their play off. Carries, bends the line, occupies 2 and 3 defenders every time. You know that the ball's going to come back in better shape than when she received it. And sometimes it's in very difficult situations, and other times she gets to open up the wonderful running prowess that she has. Bridie O'Gorman, very similar. Tight forwards don't often get a chance to develop combinations. Bridie O'Gorman now seems to be able to work out. She's technically very good, isn't she? We were talking about it before. Technically a very good front rower, and with the ball she's exciting. And she economises her work at the set piece to get energy around the field. How often do we see her in open field play scoring tries, long-range tries?
Yeah, she's great, and it's awesome to see her have a starting spot this week as well. Eva Kopani is starting on the bench, which I guess that's a big talking point, because for me last week, I was in complete awe of what she was doing. She's got a motor that never stops. She's constantly challenging the line, but I like it. Like what you said, O'Gorman being technically great to start the game, I think that's really important, because that middle battle is going to be so crucial. But then having Kopani off the bench, it's a little bit like she's one of the best players in the Wallaroos for me, but to have someone of her quality coming off the bench, that punch, the way she takes the line on, the different change of pace, she's an absolute wrecking ball. I think that's going to be really exciting. And I don't know, we'll get to see how it plays out, but I still think she'll play some pretty big minutes, because, again, this is test match rugby, and this is a game they need to win. So you need your best players on the field. So looking forward to seeing her impact.
And her impact against a tiring defence could be
better.
Huge. Let's talk a little bit about Wales. They lost heavily to New Zealand last start. If you're going to dig a little bit deeper and think, OK, well, what was maybe a good part of their game that they'll rely on today? And again, it's their forward punch.
Well, absolutely, and Don alluded to it as well. There's multiple opportunities against this Welsh team in broken field situations. What they're very good is constricting the game and limiting those opportunities. They do the fundamentals very well, and we're expecting to see that even more so today. They're going to be very short in passing, very confrontational, aren't they? Limit those opportunities to invite risk into the game, Dom.
Yes, and I thought we could see lots of opportunities for the Wallaroos in this game against the Black Ferns. I want to see Shani Williams get that ball, attack the line, break that first defender, and then get a hand free and offload that ball. And I think that's where the Wallaroos can have plenty of opportunity against them and look really dangerous.
All right. It does feel like we're getting to know the Welsh a little bit better throughout this tournament. As I said earlier, one of the big improvers in the women's game throughout this year. Let's just hope that the Wallaroos have sharpened up on their knowledge about the Welsh as well.
Welsh.
Wait, Welsh? What's Welsh?
What does it even sound like?
With the Welsh accent, you've really got to listen. It's a wholesome Welsh. That's what they sound like.
Turtle the turtle.
Hello, Grace. No. No. I was in Wales once and some lady said that. So. A daffodil. No. Daffodil. I'd like some daffodils with that. Daffodil? Daffodil.
Stop daffodilling around.
Why daffodil? Daffodil. Oh, but like tricky bastard. So in the scrum, what you... Nah.
They got a dragon on their flag though.
Dragons.
The dragon?
Yeah. They do. They have castles. I've been to Wales. They used to be my second favourite team after the Wallabies. I used to go for Wales. Kilts. I know that's Scottish.
Isn't the Loch Ness Monster Wash?
I think I sound a bit Scottish. Oh no, Scottish. Yeah. This isn't soccer.
This isn't soccer.
We're going to play at rugby. Ambulance. Ambulance. Nigel Owen. A cooch. Oh, we've never had before.
Oh, Yorkshire pudding. Is that right?
Is that from Yorkshire?
Oh, No.
Yeah, they won't be letting Laurie forget about that. Yorkshire pudding, not from Wales. She is certainly one of the stars of the show, and we'll be hearing more about Laurie Kramer a little bit more later. You think about her game last week, like very good in general play, and then obviously the kick to win it. It felt like a bit of a personal triumph for her against Scotland last week.
Yeah, it was. Just her awareness here. They were running into that win in the second half. They really struggled with their kicks. Her awareness of doing that and then choosing to run the ball, I thought that was awesome. And then her tackle here, as she comes across field making this try-saving tackle, that was fantastic, ball and all. And then, yeah, as you spoke that triumph with that kick, she spoke about having nightmares in her game against Japan earlier on in the year for missing a kick just like this. I guess that just shows the composure that she has and maturity as a player to be able to finish that off at the end in a very high-pressure situation, which was amazing and what the Wallaroos really needed.
Absolutely. One of the stars of the show for the Wallaroos is Laurie Kramer. When you talk about clutch kicks, you can talk about Kira Bevan from Wales. She nailed a clutch kick earlier in the tournament against Scotland.
Kira Bevan kicking for posts in the 85th minute.
Me and Robin had a discussion about, who would take it. We both kind of put our hands up in fairness. And then I kind of looked at Hannah and looked at Shuey, and then everyone was just like, you've got this.
I'm gonna let it bang.
That kick fell into Kira's range well, and you kind of want to see someone with confidence to go, yep, give me the tee.
Don't change how you kick based on where the posts are, because they're going to be there regardless. Every kick is the same, so the same sort of strike, same ball setup.
Here we go. A kick to win this game for Wales. She's made good contact and she's nailed it. Wales win it.
I was on the bench and I was just like this, and then when she connected, I just sort of had a little look up and saw that it just sneaked over, and I literally couldn't watch it.
It's moments you live for, isn't it, as a rugby player, like in a team sport, like just being able to make your teammates proud.
Kira Bevan absolutely deadly with the boot, and when you think about the discipline issues that the Wallaroos have had throughout this tournament, doesn't necessarily marry up too well. They're going to have to be spot on with their discipline, particularly good, I guess, around the back row. Let's talk a bit more about the back row. Grace Hamilton, she will wear the number 8 jersey again. She was huge against Scotland.
Yeah, she's massive. The thing I love about Grace Hamilton, and you only have to see her at training or after a game, the way she speaks, her face lights up, and she truly speaks about doing anything for the jersey. It's exactly how she plays. She leads carry meters, she's always there in support, extra efforts in defence. She's always thinking ahead of the game where she needs to be, how she can help her teammates, which is so important. But yeah, just her work rate's something special. Hey, Dom.
It really is, and she doesn't do it for the glory. All the stuff she does is the little hard yards that nobody wants to, the dirty stuff that people don't really recognise, and she does it not wanting any recognition. She does it so well.
And this person, Shannon Parry, Dom, having played with her, for me, she's in the team, leadership. She's come from a fully professional program, Australian 7. Very hard-working, very skillful, and very tough as well. We feel like Shannon Parry offers a lot of starch to this Wallaroos forward pack.
Yeah, she certainly does. She did it with the Sevens, she's doing it with the Wallaroos. Her work rate in defence, she's always there, sets that platform, aims up physically, and I don't know the exact stats, but her tackles, I don't think she's missed many, if any, tackles this whole Wallaroos campaign.
We'll be keeping an eye on her today too. She was getting around during the week in a moon boot, so under a bit of an injury cloud. Shannon Parry, we'll see how she goes. The third member of that Wallaroo back row trio is with Sean Maloney.
Yeah, Nick, with one of the Wallaroos' real strike players, Em Chancellor. Em, talk me through the lead up to this. Well, it's almost a must-win game against Wales.
Yeah, we've had a really good week of preparation. We've obviously had a little injury to Atasi Lafai, which has changed up our team, but we know we're strong across all 32 players, so we've just really adapted well and we're ready. We've learnt how to play with the wind and against the wind, and that was the biggest, I think, learnings from last week is using the environment that we have.
How much focus has gone into countering the Welsh set piece, because it is strong?
Yeah, we know we have confidence in our set piece, so it's about us controlling possession and us controlling the tempo of the game. When we get into our D zone, it's really important that we just stay clinical and disciplined.
And the combo, 9-10, how's that shaping up, Adebasanga and Mackenzie?
Yeah, we've seen it grow all year. They work together at the Waratahs. They've spent a lot of time together, day in, day out, and it's strong. We know their combo's great and can't wait to get the ball out wide and see the girls do their thing out there.
I can't wait to see you go well this afternoon, Em Chancellor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shawnee there with Em Chancellor, Arabella Mackenzie teaming up again with Ili Badabasanga. That combination, as they discussed, has grown throughout the year. How important is that consistency where you're not chopping and changing your 9 and 10 all the time?
Yeah, well, it's key, isn't it? Because they're the decision makers in attack. The battle up front is so crucial. I think what Ili Badabasanga does is she really demands that quick, clean ball. That then makes Bella Mackenzie's job a little bit more seamless. They've got so many dangerous attacking weapons on the edges, which I think we'll see the Wallaroos use them a little bit more. But for me, I'd still love to see that 9-10 combo, particularly Bella, take the line on and be a little bit of a threat herself first. That takes a little bit more pressure off these attacking weapons that they've got on the edge, but their combination is crucial. The fact that they've played so much footy together is brilliant. This ball from Bella Mackenzie last week, I mean, the perfect decision and great execution. So they've got some great footy between them. But yeah, definitely being threats themselves first and then looking for those weapons on the edges.
That 9-10 combination, depending, of course, how the forward pack aim up, that could well be a key to victory. Goog, you look at this team, you look at what is coming at them. What are some other keys to victory today?
Well, it's a very easy one to talk about is discipline, of course. What does that mean? That means the discipline of, firstly, the actions of what you're doing as an athlete, your tackle technique, your entry and exit in contact zones, your line-out proficiency in scrums, but also staying in the system, contributing to what 9 and 10 are trying to do, releasing ball to back line, combinations across, staying in the defensive system that you've trained. That is the discipline, that is the mental aptitude that we need to see.
All right, not long to go now until kick-off in Whangarei. Let's take you back quickly to Sean Maloney.
Yeah, well, Nick, she's a hard lady to pin down, Mel Robinson, but I've got her, my co-commentator for this first-up game, and again the third game, France v Fiji. How good this is a triple-header in Whangarei, Mel?
Absolutely, and the conditions are meant to be fantastic. Sunny weather. We know around about 16,500 people are coming, and a whole bunch of Fiji supporters, which means it's going to be a great atmosphere for these three games.
First up, Wallaroos v Wales. How do you see this one playing out? Who do you think wins?
This is going to be a tough one. I actually said to you last week on the Wallaroos all day easy against Scotland, but last week they really disappointed in two areas. Penalties, gave away really silly penalties, scored 2 tries off giving away penalties, and then the other area that they've got to work on is they've got a huge amount of impetus on attack, 38 tackle busts, 5 line breaks, but when they get to the 22 they're unable to convert that. 10 times they got to the 22, 8 times they turn it over. If they can just get those passes to connect, they'll be really, really good. But in saying that, I think Wales showed enough against New Zealand in terms of their attack, their rolling maul. I'd actually give it to them just by
You can't say that. This is an Australian broadcast. Very quickly, the quarter-final permutations, it's too hard, isn't it, try and pin down who's going where for week 1 of the quarter-finals. But if you were to have a little stab, you think Australia may be off to Waitakere next week?
Look, if they're able to get a bonus point, they should make the quarterfinal. The key game or the key other team who could possibly push them out would be Fijiana. They're taking on France. If they took France down, that would be the biggest upset we've probably seen in women's rugby. Yep. But I do think Australia will make that top 8.
Okay, there you go. Not tipping Australia to win, but tipping them to win through to the quarterfinals. Mel will be with me for the entirety of that first up game, team.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Mel. Yeah, they don't want to leave anything to chance, though, do they? They want to win this game and lock in that quarter-final berth. Dom, just quickly, your Sevens teammate, Bienta Rita, how much does she figure in what's going to happen here? She has burst onto the scene. Can she be a factor here?
Absolutely. I think if the Wallaroos are to do well this game, she needs to be confident, play her game and back herself for sure.
All right, we are all set for the Wallaroos and Wales. The Wallaroos in this game wearing their First Nations jersey. Here is Laurie Kramer and Grace Kemp.
Legends, thank you very much for your time.
All right, play on. The way that this team embrace our First Nations heritage has been really special for me to even discover my own heritage.
So I'm a proud Wiradjuri woman. My dad is from Wiradjuri land. My nan, her mum was part of the stolen generation. There's a lot of sadness in the stories and stuff, so...
It's a bit of a long story, but, well, my mob especially, we kind of like lost ties there with the stolen generation, you know. My great-grandmother taken away and it was a bit hard to try and track down, and then my dad, especially being a bit of a sensitive issue for him, he wasn't really sure if he wanted to.
My mum's dad, he's full Scottish, and so I get my like white skin and red hair from his side, but no matter how much milk you put in it, it's still a cup of tea. Like, it's pretty cool to carry both, I guess.
It's something that rugby has really helped me explore. It's kind of helped us find our mob again and reconnect with the country, which has been special.
It means a lot to be able to play for my country and wear something that has such significance to my culture. Being able to rep the Indigenous people through playing a sport that we all love. It turns a lot of heads, like it's starting to create stories, it's starting to create conversations about what the jersey means to us, what the symbols mean. Yeah, and we're all super proud of our culture.
Great run from Grace Kemp. New Zealand is chasing in vain, but Avania Wong is going to streak in.
The try-scoring machine.
How about the try-saver on the way through?
What does it mean to you to wear this Indigenous jersey?
I can't really put it into words, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's the first step in the right direction for us. Yeah, having that jersey, and I guess, you know, what it's meaning, being women coming together from all different walks of life, you know, obviously really resonates with us, all connecting as one and working together for this same dream. Whew. I'm getting sweaty. This is a leather couch. The leather couch.
We're playing highest honours, like, and then connected again through Indigenous culture. I think it's pretty special. I'm playing for my family, my culture, playing for girls who can't play, and playing for those who played before us.
Nice piece. World Cup encounter against Wales. Memorable for many reasons, but extra special this one because our Wallaroos are going to step out in their First Nations jersey. And they won't want to leave anything to chance in Whangarei this afternoon. So in their minds, this is a must-win against Wales. Victory here, and they are into the quarterfinals. So Shan Parry looking fit enough. Right now, the future is in the Wallaroos' hands. This is the first of 3 matches today on Stan Sport. It's Australia and Wales. Your commentators, Sean Maloney and Melody Robinson.
Designed by Chanel Walsh and looking terrific.
And really apt too when you think about the inclusion of tikanga Māori, or the Māori culture, into this fantastic Women's World Cup as well, with the karanga bringing out the teams.
We invite everyone who is able to please be upstanding and join us in the singing of the national anthems of Australia and Wales.
Okay, a World Cup quarter-final spot is on the line. It is Wales v Australia. Kick-off moments away.
A lot of joy on the faces, plenty of smiles for both teams. That is a great sign. It means they'll play with absolute bravery out there. Wales taking on Australia.
Okay, Nat Yanidi's sideline. That dreaded win has returned for a second week running.
Yeah, Shawnee, it's been playing havoc for the last couple of weeks here in Whangarei for teams. It is blowing again, and it is going to favour that team that is running left to right. So that will be Wales. We also had a little bit of rain in Whangarei overnight and this morning, so the ground is going to be a little bit soft underfoot. Otherwise, the sun is out and there's no rain on the radar, so good news there.
It's better than 3 minutes.
Trying to keep that energy rolling here, the Wallaroos, harness that emotion we saw on display throughout the Anthems Grace Camp. How good to see Grace getting a start this afternoon. Bridie O'Gorman as well going in for last week's player of the match, Eva Kapani. She was phenomenal. Will do her thing this afternoon from the bench. In the very capable hands of Sarah Cox this afternoon. So one more reminder. A quarter-final spot at Rugby World Cup New Zealand awaits the winner of this clash. It is Wales v the Wallaroos in Whangarei.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And moving in, Whangarei, Australia v Wales, and Wales can't hang on to the kick-off, and it's cleaned up there by Australia. Fredericks diving on it. It was a tricky kick to take from the get-go out of the hands and off the boot of this woman, Arabella McKenzie, who goes wide. Kramer just pops this one in behind and looks for the chase from Wong, who'll get the bounce. Good defence on the other side from Wales, though. It's Terry with the tackle. Barabasanga digging for it. Kramer at first receiver and going to a good buddy, Grace Hamilton, who hammers forward. Huge last week for the Wallaroos was Grace Hamilton. Here's another Grace. This time round it's Kemp. Penalty advantage here, is it as well? It is for Australia. Fredericks just has to check a run on that occasion and go back to pull it in. Still with the advantage though. And
Okay, there's a side entry there. Or you go for the offside up here.
there is the call
You
from
want it
Sarah
there, yep.
Cox.
Side entry.
Yeah, Jones there from Wales. You saw her coming into counter ruck from the side. You can do it, but you've got to come from the back, so straight through. Just trying to slow down that Australian ball, and a lovely sequence of attacking play there from the Wallaroos to kick this off.
Well, in that first game last week, Wallaroos v Scotland, neither side were able to put points on the board running into the wind. Great opportunity, though, here for Australia early on to potentially rectify that 7 days on, running into a similar breeze. The throw is good. So's a take from Chancellor.
No, out.
Talakai at the back. There's no shifting Wales on this occasion. Barabasanga called out. Now they peel away with it. It's Barabasanga going to Williams. In turn to McKenzie. Angling the run here for Tarita. Great stop shot on Tarita. So dangerous for Australia. Hamilton a touch high in contact here, so looks to slip this one back through the bodies and does so. Does it well. Partu. McKenzie stepping onto this. Fredericks with early for Wong, who's quick. Wong back in field. She goes for Kramer.
Tackle!
Kramer, 6 away. McKenzie Hamilton mixing up her running lines and coming back against the traffic. Patu now. Another thumping run from Patu. Barabasanga, Mackenzie looking to float wide, does so, and finds Tarita. Tarita cutting infield. Good Welsh defence though, puts her down.
Okay. Yeah, nothing's coming out. Good ball.
Yeah, that ball unplayable, which is why the referee has blown the whistle to give the ball back in a scrum to Australia.
Time off.
Just the way that Australia are playing in these first few minutes is looking fantastic. Just a couple of setups in the middle of the field, and then they're pushing the ball right out to the edge.
Aussie coach Jay Tregoning getting an assist through this tournament with Scott Faber to his left and Alana Thomas down the back. Here's a look at the Aussie danger woman, Tarita. 5 tries in her last 3 tests and just falls awkward on that occasion.
I think she just landed a bit on the old cheek as she went down in that tackle. Both of her hands were on the ball, so she was unable to brace that fall. I hope she's okay, because as you say, she's certainly a weapon. Cunningham, of course, I'd say the tactics today we'll see employed by the Welsh team in the first half will be very much territory kicking from Snowsill. I think this back three from the Wallaroos will be up to the counter-attack.
I know you had a keen eye on the Welsh set piece there. Opening scrum last week against the Black Ferns was huge. Do we see a repeat here?
Oh, they forced 5 penalties against New Zealand last week in this area, but Australian scrum is very good. This will be a great contest.
Yeah, Gorman going in for Kapani. Just adds that technical edge. She's far side of this scrum. They managed to lock it down well. Barabasanga away from Mackenzie. Williams shaping to go to Mackenzie, takes it on herself. Here's a pick and go from Hamilton. Good fast ball here for the Wallaroos.
Yeah, she's got the ball in her hands. Good run.
Wales read it nicely at the base of that ruck. Australia get halted initially. The little burst coming from Parry. Happy to go tight here through Talakai. It's on back right now. Barabasanga looks up and goes herself. There was no one in behind, and Barabasanga faked wide right, came short and gets the try.
How about that for a start for the little halfback? She was looking for her first 5. There's Mackenzie just out there to the right, but instead all she had to do, Barabasanga, was look up, see that Snowsill had gone right out to the wide to mark her number 10, and it left that massive hole with no forwards fanning out to defend. What a try.
She couldn't believe her luck. There was nobody around, and the experienced hand and the vision of Barabasanga too good as a result.
Give some credit too to the Australian forwards who had done a series of pick and goes there, and that had actually tied up that Welsh defence. So no smaller numbers left on the Welsh team to defend.
No issues for a woman of the class of Kramer, and she makes it 7-0. Nat Yanidis.
Shawnee Jade Tregoning will be so happy with that start. He admitted during the week that they were underprepared for the conditions here in Whangarei. They've got early points, and he'll also be so happy with that scrum. It's been a huge focus for them. Of course, not getting many opportunities against Northern Hemisphere teams.
Tarita taking the restart, sent long by Snowsill. And this is where the going was real tough last week, coming away from their own 22 into the breeze. O'Gorman. Again, the forwards happy to go in tight and try and carry some of that heavy work forward. Barabasanga, the try scorer. Coming to Mackenzie. Mackenzie throwing it in behind. It's dropped by Snowsill and pulled in by Williams. Short side's the option. Hamilton everywhere again early on.
Vantage over for the knock. Leave it, Wales.
Barabasanga seeing no one's back there and makes good contact. And the chase is on from Williams, who makes the tackle. It's a belter as well.
Get your hands away now.
As she cannons into Joyce. Shani Williams does not miss, and they reload again, coming outside in. Talakai that
Leave
time.
the hands out. Ball's here. It's your own players.
So Wales will lean on the boot, look to touch and find it is a decent knock down that right-hand side.
That kick from Barabasanga was perfect because Joyce, the right winger, had gone up beforehand, and so she saw just at the last minute there was that lovely little hole in behind. You saw that the whole Australian team was actually lined up on the right-hand side. The chasers were late, but Williams, with her work rate, got right up there and put the pressure on.
Line out. Not at the standards they wanted last week, Australia, and they picked off early here as well by Wales. So those issues with the line out continue. Bridie O'Gorman slides well to make that tackle. Penalty Australia. It'll be a penalty that goes against the attacking team. It's Lewis who gets pinged for an incorrect clean out.
Wales making uncharacteristic mistakes, really, with a couple of knock-ons and then incorrect entry into these rucks, both on defence and attack. Let's have another look. They're just setting up a nice hit there from the hooker Jones. You can just see the support player, Lewis, coming in. She needs to get back around, so arc her run, then hit the ruck and support.
Now they go long, and it'll work out okay for O'Gorman at the back. Tight head prop pulls it in. Looks like a pro doing so. Barabasanga. Hamilton gets through and then clears the pass away for Williams. And then she goes again, Hamilton. Incredible start from the Wallaroos uprated. Williams picking and moving in tight. In comes Mackenzie. Looking to go wide, then tucks it under the right arm, and that enables Barabasanga to feed it away here for Talakai. Barabasanga. This time around, Australia get it wrong.
Completely away from the ruck and carried on driving to the ground. Your player's taken her out on the ruck.
Australia were doing so
and to the floor
well
beyond
until
the ruck.
that last ruck, where they cleaned out the player who wasn't anywhere near the breakdown. But you know what Australia's doing really well is they're getting 1 to 2 support players who are blowing past the ball and allowing nice clean ruck ball for their halfback just to keep the phase play going. And just loving the attack through the middle of the field. Hamilton, outrageous so far, and of course Shani Williams coming in close for that lovely little offload.
Grace Helen last week carried 23 times for the Wallaroos and was their second top defender as well. Did miss 1 tackle. Wales, their line out looks good.
Advantage in the air.
Penalty advantage for playing a player in the air. So a gift penalty from the Wallaroos over to Wales. Playing with that advantage still. None taken,
No
and
advantage.
will
1
come back.
in the air.
Look,
Contact in the air.
the penalty's accurate. The referees have said that they will look at players taking out the jumpers receiving the ball in the air, but that didn't impact play. So actually you could have let that one go. That is just my opinion.
Wales peel away through Calendar, and on the angle comes Jones, the captain. Quick for Lewis. So finally, Wales get use of the ball, but then it's stolen away by Australia, but lost forward in the process. It was very nearly a brilliant bit of work from Leonard.
Good turn in. Just a little knock on.
Just a little mistake there. Harris, the number 8 from Wales, had a nice little foray and then just lost her support players going over the ball in the blowover, which gave Australia the opportunity to have a crack. So a lovely position to attack from here for Wales, middle of the field. most of their players in the back line are lined up on the left-hand side.
Bind! Set!
It often means you'll go right.
Okay. We need to hold our weight until the ball comes in. We need to be stable, stay attached. Stay attached.
Referee having a bit of a giggle. Would have been one of the props giving a bit of lip, as they always do.
Bind! Set!
Australia looking to send Wales back. They do so, but the Welsh clear it quickly. Now with Terry. No way through the Aussie line there. Kramer. Saw a couple of strong bursts delivered by the Wallaroos fullback last week against Scotland. She was knocking down women left and right with ball in hand. Talakai in close. Patu.
Taking her away! Ball's here. Yeah, ball's out.
Badabasanga rushed into the pass. Back for Mackenzie, trying to utilise her feet.
Tackle!
And then cleverly gets her knees to the ground, which forces Wales to come out of the contact area. Kramer's in there. Looking to O'Gorman. Bridie O'Gorman under pressure out wide. There's Hamilton. No kicking option there, so they'll force to go with ball in hand. In reverse for the moment. Now going forward through Talakai. Mackenzie under pressure, so she sends it away for Tarita. Lethal from all across the park, Tarita. Well handled on that occasion. O'Gorman past the 22 now.
Take it back!
Pressure and the line speed from Wales. Mackenzie gets the kick away, but it's a big net gain for the Welsh, who come back strongly. That was Harris, the veteran. And it's lost a phase later, and Australia won't mind this as that clock keeps spinning past in their favour as they run into the teeth of the breeze.
Yeah, interesting to see that from the Wallaroos, looking to run it, even behind their 22. They do have a couple of kicking options there, and Kramer in particular at fullback for Australia has got a really good kicking game. And meanwhile, Wales, they've got Snowsill hanging right back in that fullback area, the two wingers also, as well as number 15. So I can see why Australia are certainly running the ball into them.
Let's just be careful, okay?
The physicality of the Australian side has been a massive focus for Wales during the week. Some of the senior players in this team, they don't get a lot of opportunities to play against Australia, but when they did, they said that Australia was the most physical side that they've ever played against, not only when they're defending, but also when they've got the ball. So that's been something that they've really been looking at, and we've seen a lot of it so far with the Australians running with the ball early in this match.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Badabasanga feeds it, and they bring Tarita straight into the play, and she takes three Welsh defenders with her. Great carry from the 19-year-old Hamilton. Speaking of masters of the carry, Hamilton. Tough one at the back there for Kemp, and they win the penalty. So the quick reload with the pick and go, bringing some real reward here for the Wallaroos.
Well, there was a little unlucky there for Beth Lewis. She'd gotten her body in there in the tackle area, but Hamilton had got the leg caught, the ball caught in between her legs, and Lewis just ended up in the middle of it. Yeah, the new way of running with the ball in between your legs. Haven't seen that one before. Australia need to nail this area of the game. They've looked a little shaky here so far.
Chancellor. Clean off the top. Badabasanga rips that one over to Mackenzie. And it's Williams towing ahead. Williams. Oh no, they're coming back.
No, she's not intentionally kicked it. She's dropped it and then swung her leg.
How does Sarah Cox know that? She's not inside the head of Shani Williams. Sean will come back, go.
She hasn't. She's dropped it, then flicked it.
Here we go. I'm telling you, it was intentional.
No, it was not.
There's nothing that woman can't do. Olympic gold medalist, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, World Series champion, 4 World Cups with the Wallaroos.
And you're an Australian, so, you know. But yeah, she is amazing. She is. Look, her eyes weren't on the ball, so obvious in that replay she didn't have control.
Clearly it's a scrum feed. We've got the right call, but that woman, that superstar, will not ever concede.
She's had a good laugh at it running back as well.
Bind. Set.
Australia really turning up the noise at scrum time as Wales go to the boot. It was Williams stabbing it forward. It's tidied up by the green and gold, and now the penalty for Australia.
Again, coming in from the side there.
It's there.
Open side flanker, Calendar, right in front of the referee as well.
Stop flapping and moaning, okay?
Got to get these tram lines of where they enter the rucks or breakdown straighter to Wales. Here's a look here. There she is, Calendar. That is definitely a 90-degree angle entering that one.
Talakai goes to Chancellor, back for Badabasanga. Mackenzie, midfield is Hamilton, going over the top of Calendar. Mackenzie spinning away with ball in hand. Badabasanga's service has been spot on. Fredericks delaying the switch for Kramer. O'Gorman had a look and went without it.
Oh, did you see that? The old head rub there from the Welsh team, just to rub it in a little. Really good run here, hit up in the middle. Great work from Australia. Again, they had numbers on that left-hand side. But when they came back here, just taking her eye off the ball, did O'Gorman. The key with when you make a mistake on the rugby field is how you bounce back from it. You know, in 80 minutes of rugby, you will make some errors at some point. Just have to leave it behind.
Rare miss from O'Gorman. Scored one of the individual tries of the year, playing in the Super W competition, which is where
let's just give us ourselves that.
Each of these Aussie women do their thing through the domestic season.
You guys are the experts.
That one's worth looking up, Mel Robinson.
Okay? Let's just get that.
I enjoyed that competition. It was fantastic, particularly to see the Fijian Drua girls there as well. They had an outstanding season, and you know, those players have benefited, and now we're seeing many of them playing in this Women's Rugby World Cup as well.
And we'll see them later tonight taking on France. That's the third and final game on match day 5 from Whangarei. Now Wales keep it steady and they win the penalty.
We're not having a conversation. Off you go. Off you go.
I love this area of the game because if you've got two good scrums up against each other, you have to focus it every time you come to the set piece, or the other team will get on top of you. And that time it was Wales with the high fives, congratulations. It's just that little psychological edge in that moment.
Now, we saw Australia last week into the breeze and trailed by 12 at half-time, then turned with it and scored 14 points. Is the breeze stronger today than it was last Saturday?
It's probably not as strong as it was last weekend, but it is certainly blowing, and it is something that they have to contend with. And I think that that's particularly why the Welsh team was so excited about that kick by Eleanor Snowsill. She's taking advantage of that breeze.
Can they take advantage of the field position now as they work it towards a 22? Their rolling maul has been a feature at this World Cup, and they now have the penalty advantage. So it's free spin time as Harris almost gets through and then gets collared by Grace Hamilton. That is a doozy of a matchup. Harris v Hamilton. Look out, Joyce is into the play and now spinning it wide left. Tarita with the tackle. Got an assist from Barabasanga. Wales threatening here. John. Harris. Parry over the top. Still got the advantage here, Wales, as we go through the phases. None taken. And you would suggest it'll be rinse and repeat here. Kick to the line and try and roll it via the maul again.
I've spent a lot of time looking at rolling mauls this week, and with the intention of figuring out how will these teams compete against them, because we've seen so many tries scored from the line out and the rolling maul. And for Australia, if Wales do decide to do this rolling maul again, every single player in their line out will have to decide if they're going to go in and drive. That means nobody competes for the ball. Or if they're brave, they can try the sack, which is don't engage the rolling maul, and one person makes the tackle on the person who takes the ball. Very difficult to defend, though, no doubt about that.
Throws okay. Wales coming away with it, driving it forward now through Harris. Sets them up inches short. And it's another penalty advantage that they've got to work with as well. Creeping close and getting there. And it is the try-scoring machine for Wales, Harris, who goes over and makes it a 2-point game.
Well, we knew this one would be close, and it's proving just that. A perfect line out, but this time Wales do not form the maul. Instead, they give the ball out quickly with a lovely run there from Harris, and then a couple of pick and goes from the big girls, and then Harris is the one that collects in the end. All it took was around about half a metre. There's the line, and there wasn't much Australia could do about that.
She's the all-time top try-scoring forward for the Wales women's side, and a 28-5-pointer. And the conversion is a beaut. It goes in off, and it is 7-7.
Well, pretty happy in the crowd, and they should be. Lovely reply from Wales, who has shown some real patience to keep in this game.
A lot of support for the Welsh in the crowd, actually. Lots of people dressed up. A lot of the players have family here, but there's also a lot of just pundits in the crowd. They've got their Welsh flags out, and they're really enjoying this contest.
Tarita again. Oh, beautiful. Under the restart. What about the hands up high from the teenager? Having a tournament to remember. Barabasanga, McKenzie, trying to get it wide here. Then there is space for Kramer and Wong. Kramer going herself. Wisely hangs on and goes to the turf. Doesn't force the pass. McKenzie finds Hamlin with a bounce pass, and she tips on to Talakai. Penalty Australia.
You just got to get a little bit quicker. You're absolutely fine. She's just got to go a little bit quicker.
So John, the Welsh player there, penalised because she wasn't standing up and she was off her feet. It was difficult to roll away there. And meanwhile, the Wallaroos getting very quick ruck ball every time they get possession. Let's have a look at this. Attacking in the air, eyes on the ball, fingertip, and then she brings it in. That is skill, no doubt about that.
I spoke to teammate Shani Williams earlier in the week, and I said, how do you stop the 19-year-old from scoring? And she says, you just can't. She's that good, she's that dangerous. At some point she's going to pop up, and you know she's going to do right by Australia. 5 tries in 3 games for the 19-year-old. Barabasanga, McKenzie, Hamilton, who else? Into the 22. Kramer, back short side, and they come with a short ball from Chancellor. He takes it on 10 away. McKenzie has been happy to run with this afternoon, mixing up her gameplay. Penalty advantage Australia. So it is an easy 3 points on offer if they want to take the penalty. They'll try for a few more here as Talakai plows into bodies. McKenzie rubbering in behind. The chase is on from Kramer. She won't get the bounce.
No advantage. Come.
And we'll come back towards the uprights for the Aussie penalty.
Yep. A lovely choice to give the attacking kick a little bit of a nudge as they do it. A quick tap here.
On they come through. McKenzie. 2 away. Tartu. O'Gorman, the props combining to get centimetres away. Hamilton launching a second effort. Tartu will leave it for Barabasanga. Oh, and it gets cannoned into referee Cox, and it was 5 on 1 out to the left.
I just can't see how they wouldn't have scored a try there. You're right, they had numbers on the left-hand side.
I tried to get out of the way.
What a shame.
I understand.
Let's have a look at Gorman, just so close. Oh, the Welsh hands underneath that. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's not tough. Check the water on as well.
The referees tend to adjust their lines depending on which team is attacking, and usually should be standing just behind. She tried to get out of the way to get to her usual position.
Oh, you could see Chancellor and Williams out wide throwing their hands in the air and saying, that was ours, it was on.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
So the Wallaroos load up that left-hand side.
Right, stand up and go again. Right, get your space.
And Wales, meanwhile, have only got 2 defenders
they haven't.
on that left-hand side. As you can see, the 3 Australian players there. If the Australians do even just an 8-9 to the left-hand side, they immediately have the numbers on the Welsh team, unless the Welsh blindside flanker can get up and across very quickly.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Steady!
Hamilton going herself, Grace Hamilton.
Tackle!
Met by 3 red jerseys. So they go back to their tight work. The forwards picking and going. Talakai. Now it's on as they swing it left. McKenzie letting it sail past her nose was Williams. It found Wong. Good defence from Wales. Kemp. Again, Wales gang tackle the Wallaroos runners. Talakai.
No clear release.
Hamilton, she'll need help here. It might be late arriving.
You let go.
No, still with Australia.
You pick the ball up. No.
Going hand to hand in tight. McKenzie getting width on this one to Tarita. 6 down 1 and then gets held up 6 out. Again, Wales terrific with their defence. Parry with a settler. Barabasanga looking in for Hamilton. And it's a miss. And Wales hang on.
A little bit too much traffic there on that inside pass from Barabasanga. Maybe if the little halfback had have run it just a little bit wider and pulled that forward defence with her. Lovely pass here from Mackenzie, right in the hole was Tarita. In the end, good scrambling defence there from Wales. Oh, look at the power, boom! Terry on the ground.
Couple of sore bodies for both sides after that contest. It's been a stirring couple of phases from the Aussies, and goes back to what we were saying earlier about the Australian side being so physical and the Welsh being so conscious of that coming into this match. They're also really keeping an eye on the Australian sevens players, the likes of Shani Williams, Shannon Parry, and of course Tarita on the wing. They know exactly how talented those girls can be. A couple of the Welsh girls actually played some sevens in Australia back in 2019. Hannah Jones and Jazz Joyce both lived down in Australia for about 6 months. So it's something that they have a lot of experience with dealing with.
And Nat, I know it's a long campaign for each of the sides here in New Zealand looking to go deep into the tournament. I understand the Wallaroos hit refresh this week by going to your favourite part of the world now, Bay of Islands, through the week.
One of the most beautiful places you will see, not just in New Zealand, but in the world, Shawnee. We went down to Whale Bay this week in the Bay of Islands. Also, it has been a fantastic experience going through the hole in the rock, which is absolutely must do.
You done that, Mel?
Absolutely. I've got a place up here in Wharenaki. It is paradise.
It really is a special spot. Northland and up, it is gorgeous. Penalty Wales, so some issues at scrum time for Australia, and well, that knock-on compounding now into a penalty that will enable Wales to clear their red zone.
Yeah, one concern maybe for the Wallaroos is when they are in the opposition 22, and particularly in that last passage of play, they need to make sure they convert. In their game last weekend against Scotland, they were in the opposition 22 10 times. They turned the ball over 8 times. You can't do that. You have to make the most of every opportunity.
Line out again, looking smick from Wales, and that gives them a chance to punch it forward through Jones. The defence was ready though, and now Talakai goes for the steal, but ruck was the call. And that's back-to-back penalties, and Australia gifting Wales now field position.
So if you're new to watching the game of rugby, a ruck is when you've got players from either side standing over the ball. When it turns into a ruck, you must get your hands out. If it's tackle, you can get in there and contest if you've released the player. So, great run here. Hamilton again, very, very busy. Right there, it turns into a ruck with one player from either side over the ball.
This one overthrown and taken by Parry. The Aussie captain reads it and steals it away. Hamilton distributing it there for Mackenzie, who was trying to loop around. Grace Hamilton might have been better off just trucking it up herself. She's just so dangerous as Kemp gets away from a couple and then pops it off to Chancellor, who rolls her way up towards halfway. Talakai happy to just set up play, which will enable Mackenzie to drive it in behind. Read well, though, by Terry. Eve Terry. Pinned by Shan Parry. John. Talakai not rolling there. That'll be the call. And it's back-to-back penalties against Talakai, inviting Wales into the Wallaroos half.
There's also a high tackle on one of the Australian players a couple of phases back as well. But penalties conceded 3 against Australia in the last 5 minutes. That is an area they need to focus on. That's what their coach talked about before this match in his interview.
very nearly cost them dearly against Scotland. They were down to 13 players for that last 5 minutes, and we know exactly how tight that match was.
Wales form their rolling more well. It's Chancellor going through and getting a hand on that. Forces Wales into the shift away to the midfield. It was Harris plugging forward. Space as Wong moves up for Joyce. Bounces back in field. Pixon goes again, the two-time Olympian with Great Britain. Looks to be lost forward there by Snowsill, but play on's the call as Calendar goes on with it. Terry looping one over for Joyce, spinning away from Wong. Lewis, good running options. A couple of passes wide of the ruck. Snowsill, great line this time from Harris, but she's lost it. Oh, the build-up was terrific from Wales, and Australia repelled them on this occasion.
Yeah, a really nice passage from Wales. They varied it up with who was going to take the ball up, and of course they changed the angles there that you can see from Harris coming in off her first 5. But in the end, it was the defence from Australia that proved up to the challenge, and their physicality when they make the tackle. They're also trying to get that ball out to their very quick right winger, Jasmine Joyce. And with Wong, the left-hand winger from Australia, actually coming in and leaving Joyce free, that was a very good tactic too.
We're not short on speedsters across either of these sides, are we? Wong can motor up. We know Tarita can, and Joyce is arguably one of the quickest in the game.
136 tackles made by Wales. That has got to fatigue a team big time.
What makes that staggering is the fact that they're running with the breeze. They've been asked so many questions at the other end of the field, which just did not play out last week when we had both the Wallaroos and Scotland. Who was our second game last week? That's right, we did that one too, USA v Japan.
And Japan was fantastic, you know, they really took it to them, weren't they? That was so exciting to watch.
Refused to kick, just kept running it into the breeze. And so has Australia and Wales.
I'm a mother of 2, Sean. You can't ask me these questions about what happened last week.
You'd struggle with this morning, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Comments this afternoon from two-time World Cup winner with the Black Ferns, Melody Robinson. Sideline is Nat Yanidis. It's been an engaging battle at scrum time. Hamilton tidied up by Calendar. Just working them closer towards the touchline. Kemp now. That should make it easier for Mackenzie to find touch. Instead, she hooks it to the centre of the park. Joyce. Jazz Joyce probing and stopped on the spot by Shani Williams. Calendar. Hale. Lewis away for Snowsill. Jones, that is a great pass from Jones, sending it wide. But then we're going to say it was bobbled wide out, I think's the call. It was Chancellor in cover. The initial pass was a screamer.
But the defence, massive. Let's have a look here. Yep, there's the wonderful pass. Tarita coming over, boom. Extremely powerful in defence as well as that right-hand winger for Australia. You've got to brace yourself for the impact when you know you're going to get tackled and protect the ball in your body just to stop it from spilling out and forward.
big cheer from the Australian fans after that one. Samu Karevi, the Wallabies centre, is in the crowd. So too is Vanessa Bradley, a classic Wallaroo who did the jersey presentation yesterday.
Caught up with Samu last night. He's an absolute champion and was very happy to be here lending his support to the Wallaroos. He did the jersey prezzo last week. Did the Wallaby Star Centre. Hamilton almost getting through here. Kramer creating space for Wong, back for Kramer. Good cover work from Joyce. Look at the tackle and almost affects the steal as well. Wong to Mackenzie. She looks in behind and sends a knuckle ball. Taken well by Terry. Kramer going to the danger woman, Tarita. Gets a chance to unwind and gets through. Tarita's beaten a couple. Tarita looking to go in and away now, needing support. Unable to clear it from the ground as well. It's got their hands on it. Mackenzie going in, should have gone out. Finds Kemp. It all began with that surge from BB Tarita. Hamilton again. Barabasanga scanning for options, going across the nose there of Patu. Finding space through Leonard. Barabasanga doesn't see Joyce coming around the side, and Jazz Joyce, the big name, comes up with a big play.
Oh, well, this is what makes a game exciting, when you choose to counter-attack from a long kick and you've got someone like this on your right wing just waiting to break out. She's fast, powerful, and just kept her head there as well to try and get the ball up and retains it. They just got the numbers there, the Australians, and now they're in a good position to try and put some pressure on. Cool, calm and collected.
You've got to be happy, don't you, if you're Jade Trigoning, Scott Farver and Alana Thomas, the Wallaroos coaching team, locked up a minute to go, and you get to turn with that beautiful breeze at your back in the second 40.
I guess the challenge for Australia is that their kicking game hasn't been their strength so far in this match, particularly the position of where the kicks end up. Mackenzie has been kicking them straight to the fullback or straight to the wing up.
I've got to say, Mel Robinson, Whangarei and the surrounding districts have just turned it on throughout this Rugby World Cup. They have welcomed in travellers from far and wide. Beautiful setup. Spent a bit of time up the road at Whangarei Golf Club. Again, opening their arms to the visitors and saying, coming in, a number of the teams have been up there playing. Beautiful layout, beautiful track, beautiful part of the world.
Gee, you've got a tough job, haven't you?
Beautiful people as well. Ah.
Well, I picked up two hitchhikers today who are doing the Great Walk across the length of New Zealand, and they decided to take a bit of a break from their hike today and come to Okara Park and watch Women's Rugby World Cup.
You picked them up and gave them tickets.
I didn't give them tickets. No, I have it. Oh, I should have. Oh.
What kind of service is that?
Well, I dropped them to their holiday park where they put their tent.
I hope you're enjoying the coverage from the Northland Event Centre, wherever you are tuned in from across the globe for Rugby World Cup New Zealand. So much hinging on this match in terms of quarterfinals appearances and seedings, and Parry goes in looking for the turnover and wins it. All right, a chance here for Australia to line up a shot at the poles. 30 seconds to go in the first half, and maybe lead at the break.
Classic work from the captain, Parry. What tactic will they employ right now?
To the post.
They're going to collect the 3 points if they can get
Don't
it.
bank them.
If they can get it.
Don't bank them. Kicking has been tricky at this venue across the last 3 weeks. There's the scrum. It was the work of Parry getting in and forcing the penalty there at the breakdown.
And great timing from all 8 from that scrum. They all went forward at the same moment. Little feet pushed over the ball, and that gave Parry the opportunity to support her weight and then thieve the ball or attempt to. Because she was unable to, that is why Australia got the penalty here.
Kramer was perfect from the tee last week. Was good with her first conversion. Kramer for the first half lead. Kramer, yes. So at the break, it is the Wallaroos leading Wales 10 points to 7.
Well, important kick from Laurie Kramer there right on half-time in Whangarei. This is tense. A win here will lock in a quarter-final for either of these teams. It is an absorbing test match. It is terrific to have your company on Stan Sport and McArdle here with Dom Totoy, Lana Ferguson and Justin Harrison. Dom, a lot to like about the Wallaroos in that first half and finally an edge at half-time. But, gee, they caused a lot of heartache for the Welsh team, but maybe should have scored more points.
Yeah, they did. I thought that was a great first half. I think, yeah, maybe should have scored more points. I think they just need to be patient going into the second half. They're wearing down that Welsh defence. They will get there and those points will come.
I agree. I love that they took on the middle first.
Yep.
To start this game. It was very important to do that, to show that they want to be in that fight and to take them on there. We know that they've got exciting players in their backline and I think we'll be able to unleash them as the game goes on. But the fact that they were switched on and wanted to be in the grind mentally is everything. The way that they won last week, awesome. We got first points and Laurie Kramer's points just before half-time, very crucial.
Nice little boost heading into the second half. Let's have a look at a couple of key moments. Good, first up, Ili Buttavasanga with the first try of the match. It kind of just parted ways for it.
Well, it's an exact flow on from what Alana's just alluded to. The Wallaroos tightened up. Everything we expected about this game was going to be tight first to free up Buttavasanga around the edges of the breakdown. Liz Padu carried strong a couple of times before bend the line. Forwards carrying the ball, you start to lose sight of the ball if you're a Welsh player. Concertina to that defence, take them on physically and free up some of your fast edges around the edges.
Yeah, decision making from Ili there was perfect, but also we saw from the angle beforehand, if you're watching, the movement off the ball. There were players running off the ball, so that's why those defenders, they did spread. They were worried about those edge threats, and Ili summed up what was going on and took them on through the middle. Perfect. Great territory. Worked really hard to be there through the forwards and a really great decision-making from their 9. And
you guys, pre-game, you identified that the maul, the Welsh maul, would be a weapon for them and it turned out that way in the first half.
Yes, it did. Their second try coming from, the core of the try coming from this maul. I think that's, the Wallaroos just need to drop their body height in that and to combat that physicality. But yeah, the Welsh then putting together a few phases and then coming away with this try from Harris.
Well, one of the things that you see, we knew about the Welsh was that they were going to limit the opportunity for the Wallaroos to create uncertainty. And one of the things the Welsh are certain about is their set-piece capabilities, the scrum and maul. What that does to the Wallaroos is make them nervous. They concertinaed in to defend the next maul. Number 8 carries strong, frees up some space on the seam of the line-out and back row defence. Wales get the front foot advantage just through strong carry and direct play.
And if you want to talk about missed opportunities, little half chances for the Wallaroos, doesn't help when the ref gets in the way, does it?
Oh, this was an absolute shocker. Honestly, like, have a look at this overlap. The opportunity, that was a dead set try. Like, we couldn't have not scored in that scenario. A massive shame that the ref was in the way there because that was given points. That could have been a tipping point. We could have gone on with it then. Look, the fact that happened, play on, I think it's brilliant that we found those 2 points before half-time because a try then to find points would have been massive for the Wallaroos. But the fact that we still found a way to get those points, we headed into half-time on a positive note and showed that we could compete in that grind is still great. But yeah, that was horrendous.
All right, we are going to crank up the analyzer with Dom and Alana. What have you noticed?
All right, a lot to like. We've already spoken a few times about the Wallaroos and they're in the fight, they're creating opportunities, which is something that Dom and I wanted to have a look at, is that there's plenty to like and plenty to be positive about. Now, Arabella McKenzie, we'll speak about her in a little bit, but as a 10, she's taking on the line more, which is very important. Here's Bella here. They've got a great chance to attack this right edge. They've got numbers, players taking that line on, which is important. But this angled run from Emily Chancellor, I'm just going to highlight her. Watch this. The decision to cut in at such a hard angle was perfect. Would have loved to have seen Laurie Kramer just play up a little bit flatter because I think that probably would have meant that she would have travelled even further down the field. But what a great line in terms of making that decision and getting her team on the front foot. If they had done that slightly differently, could have turned into a points, but lots to love about that. And then another one, Dom, a little bit closer to the line for the Wallaroos.
Yes, again, very similar with that hard angled run, this time from Bien Tarita out wide. If we just stop it around there, you see this edge defender for the Welsh. She has got only eyes for Bien Tarita. She plants her feet
and Bien Tarita here.
And has only got eyes for BB. But then the key is looking at Laurie Kramer out wide here. See, Laurie is completely unmarked. So she has got space down that edge because this edge Welsh defender has only got eyes for BB. And if we let it play out, here BB either doesn't recognise that or chooses to just carry, and she hasn't got an arm free to offload to Laurie. If she has that ball in the other hand, in her right hand, she can maybe offload that to Laurie Kramer, and Laurie goes down here, only 5 metres away from the try line. That would be a try there, but BN chooses to carry. Again, a great hard line, and I think if we can just look to get those arms free.
Yeah, let's look at this one, just
so many
in real motion. You're right, and I think Bella set it up great. She knew that the early ball option was on. Bien still does very well. Laurie Kramer was a little bit devastated that she didn't get the footy there, but plenty to love about the way that they're taking the game on. Bella, we spoke about pre-game. I'll put my hand up. I wanted to see her take the line on a little bit more. Her combination with Illy at 9 is very important, and I think she's done that in this first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just... And they weren't big changes, just little tweaks in her game?
Yeah, well, the decision to run first, I also think it's important that they're playing a very direct game. Everyone knew their role. They took on the middle first. It makes it a lot easier for your 9 and 10. We're getting pretty clean ball out, and they're the times that we are seeing Bella take that line on, and she's got runners with her. So I think the options off the ball are a lot better, and they've got better territory as a result of it as well.
So Arabella McKenzie causing some trouble. I wanted to talk to you, Goog, as we let this play out as well, about the scrum. And we've been sitting together, we've been watching that first half. It's an interesting battle. There's a bit going unnoticed by the referee from both counts.
Well, the Wallaroos have started very well. Patu, Talakai and O'Gorman dictating terms, angling, staying straight. You've got Liz Patu staying straight there. Bridie Gorman taking the inside angle on the loose head. Then as the game goes on, they start to get a bit high and they start to get separated. Talakai pops up too high. Wales start to get the ascendancy, and we start to see less of what we saw in those clips about McKenzie taking on the line, releasing the ball to the outside channels, and we see some penalties in close there. And that's the way that Wales have managed to stay with this team. We've seen the Wallaroos dominating possession and field position, but at the key moment where you've got that supply chain of possession, it's starting to get disrupted as the first half has gone on.
All right, let's take you to Whangarei now and Stan Sports' very own Sarah Nagama from inside the Wallaroos camp. Hey, Sarah, it's good to catch up with you. How are the girls, how's the administration of this team feeling about what's gone on in that first 40?
Hello to Nick and everyone back in the studio. Yes, our preparation this week has actually been quite solid. We had a really successful performance against Scotland last week, so heading into Wales, we just knew that we had to really finesse, particularly our set piece, to be able to take this game away. And yes, that first half was a bit clunky, but as we know, it's about a game of two halves, so I'm really hoping the girls can close this out, which I know they can.
Hi, Sarah, and we've seen you've had a really great start, I think, this game compared to last game, and you're really swinging that ball wide, using the edges. I'm really loving that. Was that something that you guys spoke about before?
Absolutely. Our edges are world class, and today we have Ivania and both Bien, and we know how damaging Bien is with the ball in hand and even just in those closing minutes. So for us, we know that if we can muscle up in the middle, we will open our edges and release our back players because they are formidable players, and we just want to get the ball in their hands quite early.
Sarah, I love everything about your number 8, Grace Hamilton. What have you made about her first 40?
Isn't she just world class, Hamilton? There's no battle that she'll back down from. Whatever messy ball is there, she'll put her body on the line. And I think today, so far, she has been all class for us. And I spoke to her just before the game kicked off, and I said, "What do you want to do today?" She said, "I want to score a try." So keep your eye on Grace Hamilton because I think she can do it today.
Nice one, Sarah. Thanks for joining us.
All good. See you, crew.
All right. Sarah Nagama there in Whangarei. This is the first of 3 games today, so it's a feast of Test match rugby, Women's World Cup action coming to you from Whangarei. So after we finish between Australia and Wales, we've got New Zealand and Scotland. That's another game in Pool A, and France and Fiji. And then tomorrow, another triple header, Japan, Italy, Canada and the USA and England. and South Africa. So there is so much to look forward to. All of those matches on Stan Sport. England, they are the team to beat in Pool C. They've won 27 Test matches in a row. That's ridiculous. But France, they caused them some trouble last time.
Yeah, they did. This was always going to be the game to watch, particularly to see how they matched up. Two professional sides that play a pretty similar style, and they're almost the benchmark. So could be a little preview to the final. I don't know about after this game, but the thing that sets the two teams apart for me, having watched this game, was just the added class from England, the weapons that they were able to pull out, and yeah, they're very impressive. Fiji will play France, fresh off their first win at the World Cup over South Africa. They dominated long periods of the game, Goog, but the winning try wasn't until the dying seconds.
Well, it's everything we've come to love about the Fijiana, the new kids on the block, so to speak. We've seen them in Super Rugby Pacific, a version of in their Super Team, Super W competition, and now taking that excitement into the World Cup and creating history. First victory, outstanding.
Great scenes. And in Australia's Pool A, New Zealand, well, they are in dominant form. Didn't start particularly well to this tournament. It took until half-time against Australia to really get going, but they have hit their straps now, Dom.
They certainly have. And this game against Wales, I think Portia Woodman put on an absolute clinic. The way that she was able to beat defenders one-on-one and just show her class was amazing. And I'm sure that this game against Scotland, actually, I don't even know if Portia's named. I don't think Portia's named for this game against Scotland. Perhaps resting her. She had a huge game against Wales.
Well, it's interesting you should say that because, you know, are they getting a little bit ahead of themselves? They've locked in this quarter-final berth. Their assistant coach, Wes Clark, says, no, not getting ahead of ourselves at this stage.
The only people asking us about the knockout stage is, TV and at the moment, or media, I should say. So, look, we haven't even thought about it, mate. We want to put a product out there that people want to watch. We've got a responsibility towards the women's game. It's been outstanding seeing the growth of interest in the women's game in New Zealand in particular. So there's things that we want to get right with our own standards that are more important than any knockout stages. So we're just trying to take more steps towards putting out the performance we want this weekend and then keep building on that. The number of fans has been heartening, but what's even more heartening is the messages I'm getting from people I know who are saying, my daughter got up this morning and I remember being a boy back in the day wanting to watch the All Blacks. And they're having the same conversation. So that next generation having a real interest, seeing women perform well, playing a game plan that's exciting for them to watch, that's the most heartening bit, actually.
So New Zealand in action next up after this game currently underway in Whangarei. So as the Wallaroos head towards, or as all the teams head towards the business end of the Women's World Cup, the Wallabies have headed off on their spring tour, and you're going to see all of this right here on Stan Sport. We start next week at Murrayfield, Scotland, Australia, France and Australia the week after that in Paris, then Italy, then Ireland, and then we finish off with Wales. Now, the great news as we saw the Wallabies head off this week, this man is back, Michael Hooper. He's not coming back as captain, he's just coming back into the team, into the environment, but how important, Goog, to have Michael Hooper back in the setup?
Well, hugely important and significant for Michael Hooper and the Hooper family. First and foremost, a new father is welcomed and newly married too. And we've seen the rigours of an international season, back-to-back Michael Hooper, starting in so many games. Fantastic to see him back to that Wallaby squad, and the energy he's going to bring to that group is going to be outstanding.
Now, what about Mark Nawaqanitawase, who was nowhere at the start of this year, couldn't even make, for the first couple of rounds of Super Rugby, the Waratahs team. Hey, he's a genuine bolter, off on a spring tour.
Love a bolter. And I think this shows the pathway of that Aussies competition and how vital it is for our Wallabies to be able to play high-level rugby, but also put yourself in a position to play for the Wallabies. Go Marky Mark.
And what about this for a story, Dom? Jack Dempsey, 14 Test matches, and now he's been named 14 Test matches for the Wallabies, and now he's been named in the Scotland squad.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? I think it's obviously a huge honour to play for your country, but to get the opportunity to play for another country is massive, and I'm sure one that he will take great pride in.
And Goog, that is because of those changes in eligibility rules. So he's got a Scottish grandfather on his mother's side. He's been there for 3 years, hasn't represented the Wallabies since the World Cup, so he is eligible.
That's right. Technically he's eligible. 36 months is the period that you need to be out of to re-qualify for an international team. We used to see a lot of movement. Patricio Noriega, Tion Strauss for Australia as well. It's not a foreign concept. So it's great to see Jack Dempsey back into international rugby.
So
Possibly.
all of... Yeah, that's right.
Possibly.
If he gets named next week for Scotland. All of those matches on the Spring Tour you'll see right here on Stan Sport. There is a lot to look forward to, including Sonny Bill Williams and Mark Hunt. What a fight that will be.
When we get in there, there'll be no niceties. He'll be looking to knock me out, and I'll be trying to do the same.
I just want to go and put them to sleep, that's all, to knock them out, to give them pain, to be honest, that's all.
A
great night for me would be winning by any means necessary.
I want to hurt him. Hurt him as much as I can, so he quits.
This time around, I'm a lot more confident.
There's no one in the world that can beat him. He's got everything to lose here, so he might have picked the wrong person.
This is the night you've all been waiting for. Live and exclusive.
Only on Stan Event.
All right, that's Sonny Bill Williams and Mark Hunt, November 5 right now. Let's get back into it, the second half in Whangarei.
Asking Terry to come forward. She looked to have bobbled that on the ground. It'll be play on. Now the penalty, though, for Australia. Parry over the top.
Great result there from that attacking kick, nice and high. Yes, the take from Wales was absolutely excellent from Terry, but Australia chased hard and Parry with that brilliant body position over the ball. It was obvious to the referee that she was being blocked again. There it is there, a short kick, good chase, amazing receipt, and then Parry on the money.
Talakai goes low with the throw and hits the target. Patu distributing for Turita. Chasing work from her wing, O'Gorman. Lost by the Wallaroos there. Just as they were starting to gather some momentum, they make an unforced error.
Maybe the decision was deciding whether she would pick and go or blow over. There it is there. It's our top 8 seeds so far. New Zealand on top, Canada, England, and of course Australia and Wales. At this point, if Australia won, they'd be on 8 points.
It's fascinating to consider how those top 3 might finish up as well. So New Zealand hugely favoured to beat Scotland. The game coming up after this one. Canada v USA tomorrow will be interesting because England heavily favoured to get the bonus point win against South Africa. And they'll be hoping. I'll be hoping that the USA can deliver an upset win against Canada.
Canada is an excellent side. They've got great athletes, a fantastic pack, but they have played the United States a number of times. So it could be their bogey team. It's a traditional match, who knows? Intriguing and fantastic.
How good is it having the quarterfinal settings wide open as we head into the final match tomorrow down in Waitakere?
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Off goes the try scorer, Harris.
Tackle!
Good shape from the Wallaroos over that tackle player. They can't affect the steal though, so Wales come away with it through Hale.
No.
Again, Australia's discipline just missing when they needed to keep it tight. They needed to limit that over effort, and they've gifted Snowsill a chance to kick it long.
Well, Australia should back their defence, be disciplined in that area because they've only missed 2 tackles so far in this game. But they were just tempted to blow past the ball. Just needed to stay out of that breakdown area, resist the temptation and back your D.
Ball! In 15. Okay, we're done. Back you go. 6 out! 6 out! Down by red! Down by red!
Wales. with a chance to shift. And they cut across the field. Fredericks with a tackle. Fredericks looking to nick it back, can't do so. Jones, got plenty of supporters in the crowd here this afternoon. Does Jones. It was a good carry to get them into the match as Lewis fires it away. Snowsill. Joyce.
Okay, no, let's leave it now. It's done. Ball's there.
Harris spinning away from Talakai there. Lewis working to the midfield. Jones again. Getting through their phases nicely here, Wales, just unable to make any real dent in the Aussie D. Williams loses her feet. She may have turned it in the process, though. She's stolen away. She has. Williams, Hamilton, short side. Now the penalty advantage for Australia. Hamilton rolling over 3 defenders.
Ball's there. Ball's there.
This leaves a trail of collateral damage in behind. We'll go back for the penalty.
She's got to get back on the back foot. She was offside. Not you. Do the first one. Number 11.
Great turnover there for Australia as Wales were starting to get into somewhat of a rhythm.
Well, Nat, you need Isham Parry looking a little ginger, and she's essentially been banged up for a couple of weeks now.
She's certainly been in the wards. She finished the game last week on the bench with ice on her foot, and she's been getting around in a moon boot during the week as well, so she's pretty brave to be out there. Also, just on conditions, Sean, the wind is picking up a little bit, so the Aussies will really need to take advantage of it in this half. They weren't able to last weekend against Scotland. It's something that Jade Tregoning wanted them to work on, so we're going to see how it plays out.
Shannon Parry, of course, is crucial in terms of the leadership and the decisions on the field. So that's why they're managing that injury.
Chancellor at the front with the take. Parry at the back, driving her legs strongly with a rolling ball here, Australia. They've taken it 15 or so.
Hey, you come through.
Still keeping their shape up front. There's the penalty advantage. Barabasanga, McKenzie going crossfield, looping around and now sending it long for Fredericks. Kramer's wide and so is Wong. Kramer switching play here for Wong. Infield for Fredericks. 10 away now.
Tackle!
On goes Kemp.
No, hands away.
Chancellor. With a powerful burst at the line. Gets them 7 from the line. Patu.
No!
Referee Cox really telling Wales what's what at the breakdown. Still with Australia. Parry, penalty advantage.
Red, hands up!
Patu. No way she passing from that pocket of real estate. McKenzie ducking under a tackle. Not releasing and will come back.
Offside.
And what's the call here, Mel Robinson? Are you setting a scrum or are you going quickly? Yeah, you are. If you're Barabasanga, no one's there. Eventually, Parry arrives to take it. They want
Leave it alone, Red, don't touch.
a maximum collect. Patu. Patu going herself and gets put down centimetres away. Hamilton's in there. She's come up shy of the line as well. Barabasanga looking wide right now. They just need to go wide. They go short to Fredericks. What a try saver from Wales. Desperate defence. Just needed to go wide right there. Can they affect something this time round? McKenzie going herself. McKenzie held up. Incredible defence, Wales. Unbelievable D, right on their own line.
Australia, will they rue the decision to take the quick tap in front of the posts? They didn't come up with the 5 or the 7 points. They took the risk. And instead, Wales, wow, what defence, really disciplined. Australia threw absolutely everything at them. But they were up for the task.
Time's off.
164 tackles Wales has now made. They are unbelievable.
4 and 9. 4 and 9.
Yeah, just a bit of the game management or the decision on the field from Australia.
Well, the quick tap worked out okay because they created that opportunity to score. They had a 3-on-1 out to the right, but went inside instead of out, Mel.
Yeah, just on the odd occasion, they're opting. It's like they come up with a predetermined move and then they go through with the move.
Tarita goes to the meter reader. Hamilton going crossfield, now straightening Hamilton.
No, you're off feet now,
Oh,
Reds.
she will sleep well tonight, Grace Hamilton. O'Gorman. That her 24th carry of the game. Mackenzie going quick with a pass over to Fredericks. It's Shannon Parry lurking wide. Badabasanga. Bounce passing for Kramer. Penalty Wales. Oh, that is terrific, patient defence.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, we're not. We're not. We're not getting involved in that. Off we go. Off we go.
And they win possession.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
Right.
the pattern of the game.
Let's not get involved in things like that, please, ladies.
Just disintegrating slightly for Australia there. But Grace Hamilton, again, you've got, oh, it's not out.
Tarita. You can just look to her and know that something special is going to happen every time the ball heads in her direction. Talakai opting to go herself. Good quick ball there for Kramer. Kramer flat bats one downfield. Wants that one to run out hard. Back is Terry. Wong in pursuit. Terry buying time and doing a good job as well. Wales and Harries. Hamilton goes over and says, I've got you covered. And now the penalty.
Straight off your feet. 14.
Well, Grace Hamilton, can you believe, didn't
we got an
make
injury anyway.
the match day squad against New Zealand in Christchurch earlier this year.
You can't go over the top of that.
And here she is in the World Cup, playing for a quarter-final spot and killing it.
She is outrageous today in all areas of the game. You know, when she runs the ball up, she attacks on the outside, then she straightens up again. She takes out 2 defenders every single time. She tries to get her arms free as well. She is some kind of athlete. Her conditioning, unbelievable. And there you go. She has carried the ball more than any other player in this competition.
And they're not lazy meters, they're not cheap meters, they're meters that are continually punching through the advantage line and beyond. Family have followed her around. The sister Lisa's here, brothers in town as well. Mum also.
And I think the key with Hamilton is, you know, her pack doesn't always dominate around the field, yet she is still standing out. She is the go-forward for this forward pack in this game, that's for sure.
Couple of changes for both sides down here at ground level. Bridie O'Gorman is coming off the field. It looks like Emily Robinson's come on for Liz Partu, which means that Eva Karpani has come on for Bridie O'Gorman. She was barnstorming in that game against Scotland, player of the match. Expect her to have some fresh legs and some big plays.
Unstoppable through patches that game last week. As you mentioned, Matt, she was the MasterCard player of the match. And clever move by coach Jade Trigoni as well as City. One of the technical nous of O'Gorman at scrum time, knowing the threat that Wales presented there. She's done her job. Might be time now for Eva to have some fun off the bench. There she is, driving forward on the side. Karpani. Penalty advantage Australia. Wales get that all kinds of wrong with their defensive maul, and an opportunity here to kick to touch. and maybe, and I say maybe, cross, because their red zone execution has not been great this tournament.
This is great though, because Australia have gone back to basics. Nice simple stuff. A maul, you can see the communication in that maul coming from Grace Kemp, encouraging her team. It was nice and deep, the ball at the back, and the Welsh player came through, needed to get out of the maul, did not, and that is why Australia get the penalty here.
You all sorted with subs, mate?
Throwing really tricky in that corner of the field. Talakai can see the wind ripping through her hair. She goes to the middle, and then it goes straight back to Kemp. She's a touch high in contact. She pushes it back. Parry now. Parry. She lost her forward. She has another botched run towards the Welsh line by the Wallaroos.
This happened a number of times last weekend as well. And Parry, if she had have had a smidgen more pace, maybe she could have gotten around a little bit wider, and then she looked for the offload, which wasn't the right thing to do. Needed to probably keep it into her body and trust her forwards to get there to blow over it so they could recycle that ball. Big scrum will come in from the Wallabies, the Wallaroos, I should say here.
It's a rare miss from you. That's a real rare miss. Okay, here comes the weight now from the Wallaroos. It's good too. Wales keep their shape at the back. Chancellor steals it away. And now Hamilton sets up at the base and pops away. No, it's lost. What is going on in there, Mel?
Communication. Too many players keen to take the ball on that pick and go. A great scrum. Have a look at that. And then again, I think it was Hamilton who picked it up at the back there. Oh, look, actually Hamilton tried to pass it, but really she just needed to pick it up and go herself. Don't complicate things. Once again, keep it simple. There you go, 7 minutes 51 in the opposition 22, and they haven't been able to get over that try line.
And you'd say half of that would be inside the 10-metre range from the line as well. Penalty Wales. So they can exit now by the boot, and they're happy to let the Wallaroos know, you're not coming through, not now.
Elbow to the floor.
Maybe a bit of fatigue as well comes in at this time of the game. And Hamilton's work rate's been so huge. She needs some of her bench to start standing up and taking some of the runs off the rucks, just to free her up a little.
Time off. 9, and then number 12. 9 and 12 subs.
Couple of changes for the Wallaroos. Ili Badavasanga, she's been such a leader out there. She comes off for Lane Morgan. Shani Williams is also coming off the field. Trelene Pomare is coming on. She's a Northland local. She's got plenty of family in the stands. Meanwhile, Wales are about to make some changes in the front row.
Thanks, Nat. Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see more of Pomare last week. Especially in the closing stages. She gets plenty of minutes this afternoon to impress her family and friends who are cheering loudly. Forced to defend for the moment as Wales look to get it out of their own half. Harris, she gets stopped behind the advantage line, bobbled there by Williams, and now the penalty goes to the Wallaroos. Not releasing the call.
Oh, big ups again to Grace Hamilton, standing up, attacked the ball. Welsh team didn't have enough support players to blow her off. Wales, though, did look pretty good. They Had a couple of phases here. Great tackle. Comes in from Australia, and then you see Hamilton, as any good number 8 does, comes over after the tackle is made, enters from the right position and attacks the ball.
Cam, down for Morgan. Wide is McKenzie. Standing and delivering for Hamilton.
Tackle!
Snowsill and Jones combined to stop her. Morgan. McKenzie, tough one for Chancellor to take. Good pressure from Wales as they rush up in and around the breakdown. They've done that superbly all afternoon long.
No,
Morgan.
just leave it.
Leonard. Taylor Leonard. Turning up with her Brumbies. Locking partner this afternoon, Grace Kemp in the second row. Both have been busy. McKenzie bringing Kapani in the action. She can't hang on.
Oh, that's a pity. Really want to see this amazing athlete with that ball in hand. You saw Wales bracing themselves, getting nice and low to make that tackle. But again, it was just the blink, taking the eyes off the ball. I'm going to say the Wallaroos have got that set play off that 5-person line out where they go straight up the middle to Hamilton, then come straight back on the blind side. They've rolled it out twice. And there you go, there's the players who have gone off the field. You can see there the full front row's gone. And also at halfback, and Paul Murray coming in too in the centres. Paul Murray, as you mentioned, is a fantastic player.
And just before that passage of play, Tanya Naden actually snuck onto the field. She's making her Wallaroos debut off the bench. She found out that she was in the team when the team was announced. Her husband had to make a last-minute dash over to New Zealand. It took him 10 hours to get here because he had a lengthy layover in Queenstown, but he has arrived in Whangarei ready to cheer on his wife.
It's fantastic, the family support that is over here for all of these players, and really loving the fact also that, you know, so many non-traditional rugby people are actually coming to these matches and enjoying them. And of course, great to see so many people supporting women's sport as well.
Well, you talked up a big crowd this afternoon, Mel Robinson. I think we're going to exceed your expectations here at the Northland Event Centre. Huge numbers up on the hill. What a venue it is as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, Northland Event Centre is one of the fantastic rugby stadiums that has the grass bank, so you can roll up with your picnic blanket, a chili bin, and enjoy the day.
And it's dry too, crucially.
Set!
Big scrum here from Australia. Keep it straight.
It came out the same tunnel. It came out the same tunnel.
Gee, Wales dodged one there.
I thought it came out the same tunnel. No, it didn't. The same one used their hand and scrape it back. Is that after?
Let's have a look. I think Parry was saying that a Welsh player put her hand in there. I don't think she was right. I couldn't see any Welsh arm in that.
Jay Trugoni with a classic pen throw, just showing his frustration around that moment, that decision by referee Cox.
Bind! Set!
I think just an issue probably with the footing more than anything there. Both front rows going down.
M. Robinson, she bumps up and says,
Feet
hey.
underneath you. Feet underneath you. Get your bind sorted. Long bind.
Well, now that Robinson's been told a specific point on the long bind, she's going to have to make sure she's quite concentrated and does exactly what the referee wants, because they'll be watching her side in particular.
Bind! Set!
Wait again from the Wallaroos.
It's out the same tunnel again. It's out the same tunnel again.
Out the same tunnel.
No.
Could have sworn that one went backwards.
It's already out.
I have to see the replay on that. It did look like it went backwards, but
Same tunnel again.
Sarah Cox is closer than we are, so let's have a look.
This is not up for conversation.
No,
or discussion.
I don't think that went up the same channel.
It didn't even go to the scrum. It's still under the... It's a double pen throw from Tregoning. The call is that the ball came out the same tunnel, but it was still in the scrum.
Exactly. By the Australian number 8's feet nearly.
Crouch! Bind!
Second push from Australia. Outstanding though.
Up by 3. Wales locked this one down nicely. Harris going away for Bevan. Bevan will find touch. Clever kick.
There's a lot of communication from the players to the referee, asking if that went out on the full.
Okay. We're making subs. 4.
3 changes coming for the Wallaroos. That means that they have cleared out their bench. They are leaving nothing to chance here during the week. Their theme has been earning the right to go 2 wins in a row and to make a World Cup quarter-final. They will be leaving no stone unturned at training or on match day.
Right, it's gone out on the full. It's gone out on the full. We go back, okay? Let's go!
Well, there we go. The ball hit the line, and so Australia will get a line out all the way up the field, very close to the opposition 22.
Out on the full.
Plenty of movement at the line out. Chancellor eventually goes up at the front.
5.
Penalty advantage here, Australia. Collapsing them all is a call against Wales. Mackenzie floating it wide here. Finding some space through the middle as well. Morgan quick to it. Rasambale taking it forward. No collect there, so we'll head back for the penalty.
Yeah, interesting. Australia only had the 2 attacking players on the right-hand side. They'd loaded all their numbers to the left. Maybe the option was to go back there. It doesn't really matter because they had the penalty advantage.
19.
It's interesting, Australia earning a number of penalties at the rolling maul, which is usually a tactic that Wales have on their side, but they haven't been able to get a lot of possession. Australia with 68% now.
Several penalties for the Blues down there, okay? Time off. 15. 15.
Another change coming for Wales. It looks like Terry is coming off the field for Karen Lake.
Pick up the pressure, Roos. Just be patient. Be patient.
I hear the chat there from the Wallaroos camp. Just be patient, be patient. We've been guilty of going early on a number of occasions.
Stay bound, stay bound.
And Wales have answered every question asked of them.
Once.
Morgan. Going away here for Tamare. Short on numbers wide right. That's not the play, but they'll come that way anyway. Tarita picked off by Joyce.
She's off feet, no!
Australia lucky to hang on to that, Morgan. So they've lost 15 metres rather, of territory. Robinson off the floor for Fredericks. Fredericks quick away for Duck.
Well, the Australian coach would have wanted Fredericks not to do the skip pass, but to put the ball through the hands, because they had 3 players there. But have a look at this. Joyce lined up to Rita. Beautiful spot tackle. this here, just have a look. Maybe should have gone to the second person in there, poor Murray, who would have then attacked with the ball in hand and Jordan past.
What about the phase earlier going wide right when you're 3 on 5 or 6? What would you do, Mel Robinson, if you're out there and in amongst that Wallaroos outfit? What are you saying to them to ice some of these opportunities?
Basically, I'd go back to the forwards, get closer runners and simplify everything. Oh my, that was a great hit.
Might have been Naden going in.
It's your own players.
She got all of her target. Joyce. Can she spark Wales from inside their own half? Not on that occasion. To Tolotu. Chancellor trying to hold up the Welsh runner, now called out of the tackle. Snowsill working to the right. Good feet from Crabb, but then Australia spot that she's isolated and she gets penalised for not releasing.
Yeah, Wales probably don't have some of the tackle breakers that Australia do, and then when they go wide like that, they don't have enough support players to secure position every single time. Let's have another look though. Great D, big hit there from Kramer. And then once again you can see that body position over the ball. It was Robinson, wasn't it? To be very happy with that.
Debutant. Perfect with the throw. Got it to Kemp. Wales shepherd them towards the sideline.
Break away! Use the ball!
Penalty Wales.
Yeah, once you break off the maul, you can't rejoin because then it becomes obstruction. Maybe, again, you know, the Wallaroos needed to change up what they were attempting to do there. They've got the strike out wide. They've got great wingers. Fantastic in the centres. Just on the odd occasion, doing an off-the-top ball out straight to the halfback would be a great option to use. The Welsh defence here against the maul, very good. Really patient, good body position. Driving towards the sideline and forcing Australia into a mistake.
Just had Australia there saying, you know, we want to get on with it. We want to keep moving. And Wales, they've just done so much work in defence. Australia has spent over 8 minutes in the Welsh 22. They've still only got that one try and the penalty goal to show for it. They've made 220 tackles, Wales, to Australia's 67. Enormous numbers.
I mean, you absolutely have to be extremely impressed by this defence. Yes, they've missed 14, but compared to the ones they've made and the pressure that they've absorbed, and Wales, of course, one of their tactics is to slow down that ruck, that breakdown ball from Australia. They've done that very well in the second half.
No, I get it. I cannot question medics when they come on to treat players. I wouldn't do that for you guys, okay? Thanks for that.
We always knew that this one would be a tight tussle. Both teams vying for the quarterfinals.
If you're Australia now, just knowing what the quarterfinal calculations look like, do you just start looking to pot penalty goals? If you get an opportunity, just set the win up. And they've turned away some gimme 3 points in this second half.
100%, absolutely. Should have taken the shots at goal.
Okay, time off. Say more.
Essentially, you're looking for a quarter-final spot that says you take a kind of path to the semis. Can't imagine there'd be too many teams who would
Going sideways
opt in for a quarter-final match against the high-flying Black Ferns. McKenzie takes it and then steps in a touch, so
Whose ball is it?
it should be a Wales
Yeah,
throw.
just put your arm out as to whose ball it is.
Thought you might have taken it, then stepped in.
Let's have a look here.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely out when she received it. Both feet were over the sideline. Fantastic camera shot there to capture that.
Chancellor doing plenty of jumping this afternoon. Hamilton doing plenty of running.
Tackle! Let go!
Caught low there by Calendar. Nice bootlace stop, Kapani.
Tackle!
Morgan. Back for McKenzie, who'll go shallow with a kick rather than long. It's contestable.
All back, all back.
Sent backwards by Newman. To Delotu. Calling for it on his left-hand side, won't get it. Snow still looking for the 50-22. Chases on. McKenzie, indecisive, and will take the tackle and now get it away. Robinson. Good quick ball this for the Wallaroos. They need to spin it wide right. They don't. They go short through Kapani with one of her trademark sit-down charges.
No, don't touch.
Kapani to Kramer. And again, they'll go to the boot. Again, Charita comes through and dislodges it. Joyce is there. She won't mind the broken field play. Joyce. That tackle was a must-make from Morgan. Just knowing how lethal Joyce is if she finds a couple of spare blades of grass. Calendar driven back. Short side they come. Front on and with some sting goes Pomare. Thomas. Red here by Chancellor. She was gone.
Nearly had hold. Just knock
She
on.
couldn't hang on, but if she did, I don't think there was a woman on the field that would have caught her.
Very lucky too that it didn't end up being a deliberate knockdown. She nearly had a hold of the ball, beautifully timed. Wales had numbers on that right-hand side too, so an opportunity goes begging.
We're looking at the tackle by Australia, number 19, on Wales, number 7, Coxie. So I'll put it real speed for you live.
Yep, no worries,
and then
mate.
we'll get the close.
Well, the Wallaroos have been one of the most penalised and carded teams at this tournament. They got it wrong again. It's been a focus for them this week. Nat Unides at training to get these things right.
Absolutely
real
right.
speed
It
first,
was,
then,
it was
okay, is it
very
that one there, is it?
nearly very
Is that one
costly.
there, mate?
Yep. We're going to have a look at something a bit closer just to get our contact
Yeah,
point,
close
aren't
is
we?
now coming.
Yep, no problems.
As the referee takes a closer look at this one on Alex Calendar. So that's Grace Kemp
That's your point
there.
of contact, Coxie.
Yep.
She's
No
been
worries,
incredible
okay.
for the Wallaroos so far this game.
Yep.
Love the force comes to the body.
Well,
Yep.
it's on
We've
the
also got
shoulder,
that Bend over by, yeah.
so it can definitely
Okay,
be
so
ruled
you can
high.
get a shot on that
Coxie,
shot,
yeah.
real time. On that last one, a little bit closer, because this one isn't really giving us much to work with, all right? It's a bit too far and wide. Okay.
Okay, there you go, Coxie. Ready to chat.
Yep, no worries, mate. Okay. So what I've got here is 19, makes direct contact to the face with the shoulder to the Wales player. However, what I've got is both players are bent. So whilst there is direct head contact, and it is dangerous with some force, I've got the Welsh player dipping into that tackle and bracing herself as well. So I've gone from red down to yellow, okay?
Yeah, agree, mate. Yellow card.
Yeah, okay, and is that for 19, is it?
It's number 19, mate, yeah.
Yeah, all agree with that? Beatrice, yeah? Yeah. Number 19, can you just give us a mark as well, Tempo, please?
19.
It's the debutant who's going to go.
It's direct contact with the shoulder to the face, okay, but she is dipping at the same time, so it's just a yellow card, all right?
Yeah, unfortunate. The way the referees look at this game is firstly safety and welfare for the players. So anything that goes near the head or above the shoulders will be looked at. But then they go mitigation, and the mitigation was both of the players going a little bit lower. But it will still always be a yellow card if there is contact with the head. It is a real shame because, you know, that touch on the face was just so short. It was just a split second. It always looks a lot worse when you replay it in slow motion.
So the energy in this game shifting in the direction of Wales. That one is taken at the back and they sack it to the Wallaroos. Down a woman for the next 10 minutes. Incredible Welsh defence has kept them in this one. That's lost forward.
That gives the Australians a bit of a mental high. Great pressure from defence. You could see all of them pushing up with speed. This Welsh attack just a little disjointed. Yeah. Late, not sure which player she was going to offload to. She had two options. Maybe wanted to go out the back, out wider. Good work, Australia. 9 yellow cards in 6 matches for the Aussies.
And they're missing Ash Masters for 3 weeks too. The replacement hooker last week off to the judiciary earlier this week and copped 3. So her World Cup, you suggest, is over and done with. Australia will go ball in hand here, despite running with that breeze. Tarita put down on halfway.
Okay, leave it, Wales. Yeah, wait there.
There's a debutant, Naden. Mackenzie. The Chancellor goes infield, now offside. So really disjointed in attack there. And you just wonder, Mel Robinson, why they're not going boot to ball and playing position up by 3 and chasing a certain quarter-final spot.
The only time Australia have kicked the ball in the second half with that strong wind in the background. Not going out.
They get let off the hook here, though. Mackenzie eventually comes away with it after some miscommunication at the back. Robinson takes one for the team there, short of the 22, and Australia pick and go. Now they go past the 22, so if they do kick, they need to keep it in the field of play. Pick and go again. Well, interesting tactics. Earning meters the hard way. Now they put it through the hands. Chancellor.
Okay, done.
Robinson. No way through for M. Robinson. Penalty Australia. And now they tap and go quickly. It's Morgan. Finding Chancellor. Well read by Wilkins. She makes the stop. Mackenzie. Robinson. That one lost by Wales. And they'll have a scrum.
So the only explanation I can give...
What's your explanation?
Is they're not kicking the ball because they don't want to give possession away to Wales.
We've seen through 73 minutes how impossible it is to work the ball away from your 22 running into this breeze.
100%. I don't agree with the tactic or the decision.
They're not going to get 3 tries to get that bonus point inside the next 6.5 minutes.
The only time they have kicked it in this half, it's been short, high attacking kicks. One of them came off for them, and the others, they've just given the ball straight away back to Wales. So no, they should be kicking absolutely for distance, for territory. Maybe they don't have the kicking options in their back line. I'm asking the question.
Mel, with that breeze behind you, even you, as one of the worst kickers international rugby has ever seen, would be able to send it 40 or 50.
I'm not sure about that, Sean.
30?
20.
tension's building down here at ground level. There's a lot of sore bodies out there, just keeping an eye on the Welsh bench. We've got heads in hands. There is so much tension. There is so much riding on this match for both sides.
You ready? There's your mark. Time on.
Well, with Shani Williams off as well, I mean, she brings such experience to this team, playing in her 4th World Cup. That doesn't help proceedings either, just to be that steadying, calming voice.
That's right. There'll be the leader that stands up and gives the tactics, the decisions, the advice, and Shani Williams is absolutely a person with a fantastic rugby brain.
How do we rate Laurie Cramer on the side of the scrum there?
You have also got to take the weight, and you have got to hold your weight.
Let me have another look.
Be stronger with that, okay? Yeah.
She looks like she's enjoying herself, that's for sure.
She's always enjoying herself, Laurie Cramer. She's a ball of energy.
And as we touched on at the top of the broadcast, was key in getting the First Nations jerseys set up. Designed by Noongar artist Chanel Walsh.
Bind!
Got a hand from Grace Kemp and Mahalia Murphy and Maddie Shutt. Looking to go to work here at scrum time. Hamilton at the back. Hamilton taking it away and grabbing more metres for her stats column. Robinson has been at first receiver a number of times since coming on. Just happy just to concede that tackle. Again, they work it to the right. Hamilton. Oh, excellent from Wales. Harris nicked it away for Wales. Big contact. One off. Was it Naden with the tackle? It's a real scrap for the ball. Both sides knowing what's at stake here. A far kinder run through the quarterfinals if you can get the W here. Australia coming right through the middle. It comes out. And they're going to say that Wales played it on the ground, so penalty Australia.
Oh, fantastic work there from both Kapani and Grace Kemp, understanding that a counter ruck would be a legal option there.
Once you let go of the ball, you can't then flick it out again, okay? Hands on the floor.
Gee, this is brutal, punishing, hard on the bodies. They're exhausted. You can see their faces. The look of despair from the Sinbin bench there. Fellini.
We've had a scoreless second half.
Well, this is test match rugby and so much on the line with quarterfinal positions, seeding positions.
Can Bella McKenzie steer her team to victory?
You're not going to step across, you're going to stand on your mark. 60.
Well, that was great distance from that kick, so she's absolutely got a great punt on her. We just haven't seen her use it too often.
Well taken at the front. Wales come round the side there. Tuipulotu. It bounces back for the Wallaroos. McKenzie bobbles it. Goes to Hamilton. She's midfield. 35 away, penalty Australia.
12.
Surely they look to the sticks. Where's Cramer?
Yep. Eating into some minutes. This is the correct decision. Straight in front, pretty much. All they need is the distance. So if Australia win, at this point, they'll be in 4th position in the top 8 in the seedings with 8 points. And Wales still in the top 8, but Fijiana.
And France to come later tonight,
Yeah.
so France will likely leapfrog the Wallaroos. They're expected to defeat Fijiana. I did speak to the Fijian camp yesterday, and they said they've got something special lined up for today, so I'm looking forward to them in a couple of hours on the other side of New Zealand v Scotland. Right now, though, it's Cramer looking to set up a 6-point lead. Laurie Kramer with the breeze behind her makes no mistake. And it's 13-7.
Happiness, joy, relief probably as well. A converted try now needed from Wales.
Well, you're not writing Wales off by any stretch. They went to the 86th minute against Scotland to get the victory in that opening pool game. And here they are with possession. Taken by Newman. Some more twists to come as Wales thump it forward. They got a one-woman advantage. They come short side. No room for Newman. So she bounces infield. Bevan up and away to Crabb. Big minutes from the second rower. Now space. Looking for Joyce. Kramer misses her. Joyce almost away from a couple more. Duck eventually gets her. Piper Duck. Australia calling for the turnover and getting it. They win the penalty. Not releasing is the call, and I think it might have been Piper Duck. Have they done enough?
Wow, this game has a lot of drama. It's got a bit of everything. But it has been Australia who have been the masters of thieving the ball or attempting to thieve the ball at the breakdown. It is one area they have been outstanding at today. Wales losing the ball when they're hot on attack a number of times.
So crucially now for Wales, they'll be desperate to hang on to that losing bonus point, Mel. They need that to shore themselves up for a chance to slip through into the quarterfinals. So defence key for them here, and if they can make a steal, they're very much a shot of winning it too and robbing it from the Wallaroos. Disjointed, but it's a penalty advantage for Australia. Mackenzie going the wrong direction, but they do have the penalty advantage, and it might be the match-defining call.
Who brought that down?
Yes, you touched on it. If Wales get the losing bonus point, even if Fijiana got 2 losing bonus points in their match against France, they wouldn't be able to overtake them.
Bella Mackenzie ices it. The Wallaroos are off to the quarterfinals at Rugby World Cup New Zealand. Full time in this one, Australia 13, Wales 7.
It was low scoring. It had an intensity about it. 1 try apiece. Australia getting the job done and locking in a spot in a World Cup quarter-final. Thanks for staying with us on Stan Sport. Dom Tutoy, Lana Ferguson, Justin Harrison here. Guys, what'd you make of that? A bit of frustration watching that second half. They had their opportunities, but in the end, Australia with the win.
Well, that's it. They're going to the quarterfinals in a Rugby World Cup. They did what it took to win that game. It was close. We saw a fair few crosses to their coach, Jay Tregoning, and it looked very tense. We felt pretty similar sitting back in the studio watching, but they did what it took. A lot of character from the Wallaroos, and in the end, they got the win they needed.
Enormous pressure. Look, that's a sign of a good team. Now, we can talk about a low-scoring game, but that's everything that we expect from a World Cup game. When everything is absolutely on the line, some significant changes made in the second half, particularly front row. I thought Robinson and Kapani came on and made a real difference there in an area that the Welsh looked like they were starting to get some ascendancy in. But look, a cleverly played out game. 10-7, they're winning. As that second half went on and on, the Welsh were just hanging around, weren't they, Dom?
Yeah, they were. And look, second win of the World Cup, I think, getting down to nitty-gritty, this assured them that spot in the quarterfinal. They did what it took. They handled the pressure well at that end there, with the Welsh just being really relentless in that day. And, yeah, they did well, and they won.
Just talk about that pressure, though. There's a steal to this team, so that's 2 weeks in a row. And admittedly, you know, they were winning for a lot longer period in this match. But 2 weeks in a row now, it's been close, it's been tough, and they've had that ability to withstand that pressure?
Well, it's important because that's Test match rugby. We expect the games to be close, and you have to find that something special to not only stay in the grind, but to be able to win at the end of the day. A kick like Laurie Kramer under pressure to get those points, to put it back onto Wales to say, you know what, if you want to win this game, you've got to convert a try to be able to do that. So it's moments like that where they stood up, they stayed in the fight. I actually thought the Wallaroos put themselves under a fair bit of pressure in a fair few moments in that second half in particular. You know, not kicking for territory, almost trying to chase their tail as if they weren't ahead when they were up 10-7. But at the end of the day, they found a way to stay in it and they found a way to secure that win, which is huge.
Well, look, it's one of the things that we introduced at the start, didn't we? This team is starting to become a problem-solving team. Second half didn't go their way. Most definitely some of the choices were questionable. But what was important is they started to recognise, hang on a minute, we're ahead here. Closing the game out is very different to feeling like you're down and you need to chase the game, which is what we saw from the Welsh. Started to get a bit loose, knocked a few balls on, gave away a penalty, played themselves out of the game rather than into the game.
You talk about pressure. The pressure was on this team right from the kickoff because they knew that if they could nail the result here, they were into a World Cup quarter-final, and it was Ili Barabasanga who got things started, and just the awareness rather to see that space at the back.
Yeah, you just see that vision. She looks up, sees that the Welsh defenders drift off straight away to those Wallaroos players on the move, and just spots that space right ahead of her under the post too.
And the second one for the Welsh, they got this territory through their rolling maul, a couple of good, really hard, direct angled runs, and then they went over. That's where they're dangerous, close to the line, straight through the middle, but they were the only 2 tries in the entire game. They were both in the first half, and then it was all up to the nitty-gritty for the rest of the Test match.
Well, we're sure that in the review, because immediately after a game like that, you'll turn to a review and you'll try to find answers for why you seem to have a mountain of possession, not able to execute quite as well as you thought. You were clearly favourites heading into the match, but not too sure about how it was going to pan out. Start the half well, finish the game indifferent in performance. I think the players will be looking at their ability to finish the opportunities that they created, because they certainly created a lot, didn't they, Dom? There's a lot of opportunities there for the Wallaroos to cross the line.
Yeah, they did. I think it's really promising looking forward towards the finals footy, the big games, seeing that they are able to create those opportunities, just executing that and finishing it off, I think will be the difference.
And you've got to remember that this team, you know, hasn't been together as a squad for a long time. They get better and better throughout each game, and clearly the understanding is improving throughout each game as well.
Yeah, for sure, and they're identifying those different areas that they need to work on. I thought the way that they came out to start this match, they were willing to be in the fight. They wanted to go through the middle. They scored their first points there, but by putting that pressure on, they had a lot of pick and goes, and they wanted to apply that pressure. They then got points before half-time, which is crucial, heading back in after Wales had scored, and then again, Laurie Kramer kicking that goal to give them the lead. They just showed so much fight in the game, a lot of grit. Whilst we might not have seen a lot of their plays executed as well, some of their kicking options for me were quite questionable, but there were so many crucial moments in that game that they won, and that's a result of them working well as a team, not just going through their paces, but knowing which areas of the game that they really need to knuckle down and win. They did it very well.
A bit to improve on, but certainly a great win for the Wallaroos. Get some reaction now out of Whangarei. The Wales captain is Hannah Jones.
Hannah Jones, a really disappointing result for the side. You've won a close one, you've lost a close one. Can you just put into words exactly the emotion after that game?
Yeah, we'll be gutted after that result, but you know, we put 100% into it. We had to capitalise on some of our opportunities, and hopefully we make it through next week and we'll be ready to go again.
The physicality of the Australian side, just how difficult was it out there? It looks like there might be some really sore bodies.
Yeah, and to be fair to us, we had some good defensive sets there, and the girls showed heart. Just disappointed with the result, and you know, pick our heads up now. We hope to go again.
Bad luck today.
Thank you.
Shannon Parry, some nervous moments there at the end, but what does it mean to be through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup?
Yeah, it's massive for this group. We've come a long way since the start of the year, and that was the first box we really wanted to tick, was get through the quarterfinals, and then the tournament opens up. So I'm really proud of the girls today to guts out that win against a very strong Wales team.
Just how impressed were you with the defence? Because it was incredible today, particularly in that last 10 minutes when you went down to 14.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a true test of character. We've been working really hard on our defensive systems, and it's really good to see it's paying off out there today.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and thanks to all our supporters back home. We really appreciate it as well.
Shannon Parry there. Gutsy performance from her team. Gutsy performance from her as well. The skipper under a big injury cloud heading into this. Let's stay in New Zealand now and catch up with Laurie Kramer joining us straight after the match. Just adjusting the hair. Laurie, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Congratulations on that win. Gee, it was gutsy. You had your opportunity to maybe win by more in that second half, but you grounded out.
Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, it seems to be a bit of a theme of ours to, have like ugly wins like that. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of chances out there that we didn't capitalise on, and I think a lot of handling errors that we just kind of put ourselves into trouble all the time. But true Aussie spirit. We're absolute battlers out there, and we got through.
You are battlers, Laurie, and you won that. Congratulations. The Wales defence out there looked relentless. What did it feel like?
G'day, Stinger. How are you?
I'm great. Lovely to see you.
I knew it. Oh yeah, it was good. We expected that. A few of the other teams are saying that they're quite physical, especially in the ruck area. But I mean, that's footy, and you want to play those kind of games. That's what the rough and rumble. We love that. So they were really physical, and they got a really mobile pack. So we found it hard to get space where we usually find space. But I mean, that's something that changing our game on the fly that we'll probably have to have a look at.
You look like you're loving having that number 15 on your back, mate, and nice to see you wore your magic boot today too. Came in handy.
Yeah, so don't leave home without it. I did that in the Japan game though, as I got reminded last week. No, but I think I even had to go on the mud flap today. I'm surprised that you guys haven't mentioned that yet. I was on the flank a few times there, on a few scrums. I don't know if you saw that. But, that's the job of a kicker. I love those sorts of moments. I mean, that's the kind of... It's my job to kick goals, and it's people's jobs to tackle and to throw balls straight. So you just got to do what you got to do.
Laurie, we saw a really powerful clip before the match about wearing the Indigenous jersey and what that meant to you and what that means to the team as well. Creating history today, wearing that in a World Cup for the Wallaroos. How's that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, these jerseys, are really special to the entire team and everyone back home. I mean, such a powerful message, everyone coming from, being such a culturally diverse team, people coming from all walks of life, all coming together and celebrate, the world's oldest culture. So, we've got a beautiful culture in Australia, and it's really special to be able to wear these, and shout out to Chantel for making us look pretty.
Hey Laurie, we're proud of you in that jersey today. It was a great win by the Wallaroos, and onwards and upwards towards a World Cup quarter-final.
Yeah.
Yeah, how good. Thank you.
Cheers. You know what I love about Laurie Kramer is that ever since she started, like the first media interview she did, she was just that natural, and nothing has changed. She's an absolute superstar.
Well, she's a superstar, but also you can see how much she loves the game. I don't think she's ever been speaking about playing rugby union without that grin on her face, and that's so important. You know exactly why she's taking the field, and I think that transfers every time she speaks about her teammates and just playing rugby union. It's the best.
How awesome was Grace Hamilton today? Just some of the carries. She leads the tournament for carries, but getting her side across the advantage line time and time again.
She does. We spoke about her before the game. She's just everywhere. She's number one in all elements of the game, doing the hard yards there. You see her making that tackle, getting over the ball. She's just a fighter. She's a fighter, getting a ball friction. She's always making that advantage line as well. She breaks that first tackle, gets some post-contact metres. She's amazing for that team.
Well, she does it when they need a lift. They need something. They're looking a little bit flat, they're not getting over the advantage line. She'll put her hand up, she'll say, this is my job, I'm getting us on the front foot, work off the back of me. I'm going to go that extra mile, follow me.
Look, I hear you guys talk about almost violent metres, so meeting that first tackle. She is never brought down in the first tackle. It takes tackle 2, tackle 3. There are people hanging off her constantly.
Absolutely, and that's what we start to mean when we talk about physicality. We talk about big impacts and big moments, but we also talk about hard to stop. We talk about gaining metres when no one else is going to. We talk about Grace Hamilton looking like the Sebastian Chabal of the Wallaroos, right? She's got hair, she's hard, there's angles and elbows and knees, but there's also technically correct leg speed into contact, making sure long place on ball, making sure she's communicating and showing up at the right time, not cutting off 9 and 10 passing channel. All these things are happening in amongst all of that beautiful athleticism that we're seeing in Grace, and also, given the learning curve she's been through, she's dropped away from the captaincy, she's lifted her game focus, and that is starting to show on the dirt. That's great.
All right, we've talked about her. Let's hear from her. Grace Hamilton.
Our MasterCard Player of the Match, Grace Hamilton, congratulations. What a fantastic performance by you today. 28 carries, you must be exhausted.
Really? I didn't know that there was that many, but yeah, I was just in the right place at the right time, I guess. But we made it hard for ourselves. It was a bit stop-start, but credit to all my girls. I know that sounds cliche, but we really dug deep there and we knew we had to execute this job today.
Just what does it mean, not only to be through to a quarterfinal, but also to be in this magnificent jersey which you helped choose?
Yeah, this jersey means so much to us as a country. It's our First Nations jersey. It encompasses us women coming together, a strong nation. It's the first time an Indigenous jersey has been worn at a World Cup. So for us to wear it today and to win out here in front of some of our family and friends, it's just such a special moment for all of us.
Well, congratulations on the win and congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much.
What a game it was, the player of the match. Grace Hamilton. There it is, the Pool A standings right now. You've got New Zealand and Scotland coming up on Stan Sport very shortly, but Australia, they have locked in that quarter-final berth. That's what today was all about, Cook. And then you've been there in a World Cup. You know exactly what happens now. Australia prepares. They're all focused now on that quarter-final.
Well, it's interesting, is that I was talking off camera and off recording, and I probably said I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it. Because you get conditioned when you're an athlete and told by your coaches and everyone around you to limit the messaging. Don't give someone else motivation. Don't talk about anything longer than 1 week at a time. But let me tell you, every player in the Wallaroos now is allowed to dream the big dream and think, imagine winning that quarter in the semi and getting to the final. It's so close now. And you start to accelerate into that with some energy. That is a big, big, important milestone for this Wallaroos group.
Indeed. All right, there was some drama and intrigue today in Whangarei, and you talk about drama and intrigue. There's plenty of it coming up for you right here on Stan, the brand new season of Gangs of London.
Elliott's back. He has a major stake in this town now. Manpower. Allies. He's not to be underestimated.
You understand what it took to build this city. And you know the pain of losing it.
What does it feel like to be a king?
The brand new season of Gangs of London, now streaming only on Stan.
Yeah, that is going to be awesome. I don't know if you saw the first season, but that's quality television right there. So look out for that. Also, look out for this. Mark Hunt and Sonny Bill Williams. It's not far away. There's been some drama there as well. Alana, are you going to this one? Are you being drawn into the Sonny Bill Williams fan club?
I'm well and truly in the fan club. He's a legend, love what he does, and can't wait to see him.
All right, you'll see that on Stan
Once
Sport.
Once it can knock us all out. Very
I'm too scared to say I'm not going, No,
I don't like him.
No, absolutely, I'll be in his corner.
It's going
Go,
to change
Sonny.
him on. Yeah, exactly.
Put it this way, he commands respect around here for all sorts of reasons. So the Wallaroos now, heading towards the business end. We've got New Zealand coming up. Obviously, England are one of the teams to beat as well in this tournament. How are you feeling about how things are going to unfold now? You've got France as a threat as well. What's your feeling about what's coming up?
Well, if we look at World Cups historically, you've got to get through one game that you might have, should have lost, maybe could have played poorly, but get away with it. Then get through those pool games into a final, win a final, and then you're only one game away then from a grand final. And anything happens in finals rugby, doesn't it, Dom?
Exactly. Anything happens. This is do or die now. It's a World Cup, a Rugby World Cup, and finals time. Teams that might not win can win, and either way, it can go either way. And those Wallaroos, the passion that they showed, we just heard Laurie Kramer speaking, with that passion and love for the game, they can do it.
Pressure's on. I think our Wallaroos love the pressure. So bring it on.
We're about to find out. Don't go anywhere. New Zealand and Scotland coming up. Duck across. Check that out on. The entire World Cup is on Stan Sport. You won't miss a moment. I'm Nick McArdle on behalf of this incredible team. We'll see you soon.